What's next for you? Hi, beautiful soul. Thank you for joining me, Mystic Mia, here on Mostly in the Moment for another highly spiritual reading. In this reading, I went above and beyond. I channeled as best I could, as powerfully as I could, and it did not disappoint. Connecting to source energy, my higher self, and my spirit team. They did not disappoint. It was a very collaborative effort, and we really go into what's next in your life that's going to last for a very long period of time, for a significant period of time. Meaning that you've probably closed out a huge cycle or multiple huge cycles. It's a timeless reading, but at the time when I post this, Pluto just entered Aquarius. And for me personally, I ended a 30-year cycle, a 16-year cycle, a 7-year cycle, and a 4-year cycle, and maybe some other ones that I not remembering at this time, but those were major cycles that I ended. And I know a lot of other folks who's kind of ahead of this wave, who had their awakening before 2020 and are the light workers, star seeds, twin flames, way showers, spiritual warriors, teachers, and leaders that are way showing this rest of the collective that are choosing to go through this great awakening together. You have completed something so big, so astronomically big, that you are about to start a new era that is just as equally as big. And no, it's bigger. The things that you are starting next in your life are going to be long lasting and even beyond that. So I hope you're ready for a very exciting reading. I hope you enjoy it. If you resonate with it, you're my soul fam. I am honored to connect with you. And yeah, let me know if you resonate with the reading. Much love and light. Hi, beautiful Pile 1. We're looking at what's next for you. This is a timeless reading, but it should be like the next significant period of time. What's going to be happening for you next. All right, so let's get right into it. I think I'm going to look at 4 different energies and just kind of see. It's a fully intuitive reading, whatever Spirit has to say. What is next for you? House, family, warmth, comfort. All right, so definitely something surrounding your living situation. I do see you moving into a more suitable home for where you are energetically now. This is a timeless reading, but Pluto just went into Aquarius, and around the time that I post this month, November 2024, I posted a lot of readings for light workers, people who are highly spiritual, people who are more awake and aware and have been doing their inner work. What's coming up for you in the next few years. That's probably going to last for a significant period of time, probably for the next decade or two. What's starting now for you that's going to grow and be consistent and stable. And a lot of these readings recently had to do with your home. And whether you like your home right now or you don't really like your home situation right now, or things surrounding or outside your home situation is affecting how you feel about your current living situation, or you feel like you need to upgrade this area of your life because you've upgraded your internal home. You know, you've come home into a more authentic version of yourself and you need your environment to reflect that. For so many people, your living situation is going to change. And I do see specifically for you, Pile 1, you are going to move. You are going to move to a better living situation. And it's an upgrade that you probably didn't expect in your more immediate future. It's something that aligns with who you are, but I think you're going to be even surprised at how grand an upgrade this is for you, because I feel like you're like, oh, I can afford a little bit something better, or yeah, I can be somewhere where there's, you know, a more nicer, peaceful, a more resonant energy around me. But I don't think you understand how much. You do understand how much you've upgraded internally, but I don't think you're so used to getting such a grand manifestation, a grand change in your environment that reflects who you are now. And that's the times we're living in. So you've worked so hard to upgrade your home within, that I think in your journey so far, you've seen like little manifestations here and there with work, money, living situation, relationships, whatever, health. But I don't think you've got an appropriate manifestation that reflects how much you've grown internally. This is one of those. And I think it's going to like take you aback a little bit and surprise you for sure. How big of an upgrade you're getting in regards to your home situation. No matter what your financial situation is, whether you're not doing so well or doing really well, I think you're going to be surprised at what an upgrade your living situation is going to be in this new era. Mirroring each other. I kept saying that. I'm like, it's going to mirror the internal changes you've made. And in the past, it didn't seem like it was much, but it is. It's such a huge, profound change. Your environment is changing drastically, and it reflects like the huge drastic change you've made within yourself and in your own life by yourself. So that's something to look forward to. I think you're going to be blown away at like how big this change of homes and living situation is going to be. Of course, if you've been struggling with your family life, that's going to change as well. Whether it's with your current family or creating a family. And then also creating a home that's set up to really give you a lot of warmth, a lot of inspiration, and like kind of set you up to have your best days, you know. So it's going to really reflect how far you've come. Truth. The truth of the matter is, the Six of Wands, is that you've won. You finally come out of this situation successfully. I feel like you've been very successful with your inner work, but you've had very little to show for it in the physical, in terms of reaping the rewards or getting results that far exceed your expectations. When the healing you've done far exceeds your expectations, it's like, I'm accomplishing a lot of these things internally. Why isn't it showing up in my external world? It is. It's just like Spirit said that like you wouldn't have finished this cycle of healing and growing and learning and evolving if you got all the things that you wanted in your external environment. So it's like kind of like you kept going through cycles of healing and growing and learning, expanding and evolving without much to show for it over and over and over again. And now all those like rewards from all those efforts are finally showing up in your external environment, in your physical reality in such a big way. And there was a reason why you didn't get it all those other times, or not as big as you were expecting. It's because like you wouldn't have finished. And don't tell me that's not the truth. You know, Spirit's like, don't tell me that's not real. That we're not saying the truth there. All right. Magic. Make a wish, believe in miracles, magic surrounds you. So it's kind of like magic, and I think you know, like things are kind of going in a direction that you could have not imagined. So things are manifesting for you better than you could have ever believed. And the thing is, you had to kind of hold that vision, like a vision of an incredible future for yourself and the people around you and the world around you for such an incredibly long time, that you kind of like, oh, maybe I just need to aim high and my manifestations will manifest somewhere in between, like what other people expect and what I expect, and it'll land somewhere in between. But now you're manifesting on that high level, and it's just like, wow, this is truly magic. I feel like you have even trained yourself to not believe that you're gonna get that ultimate vision, that it was just gonna settle for somewhere in somewhere lower than that, right? Somewhere in between, like what other people expect for you and your visions, and like your lowest expectations, your baseline, to like what you ultimately expect is gonna fall somewhere in between. I think you're gonna be surprised that like, no, it's reaching like the ultimate visions you've had for yourself, especially in terms of house. And it has to do with abundance. So I feel like your living situation is going to coincide with the immense amount of abundance coming into your life. And the Nine of Pentacles came out in reverse. So I do feel like this is something, this is kind of like a culmination of physical manifestations coming around the same time. I feel like you're going to be able to get that awesome living situation because you're getting a lot of money or resources coming in, like a lot, like a lot of finances. So I do feel like there's like a reason all these things are coming in around the same time. It's like when it rains, it pours kind of situation. Get one more card. And Spirit of Spring, freedom, action, power. So that's so funny because I've been kind of getting this energy of like springtime is here. So no matter what season it is for you, whether it's fall or winter, around the time that I'm posting this, like I kept getting, even in the other readings that I posted around this time, like it feels like spring. It feels like spring is here. And it just feels like new hope, and it feels like new things are arriving. And like you're ready to get started on this new chapter, this new year. It does feel like you might have had a little bit of like a spring cleaning feeling where you kind of reviewed and released anything that was no longer serving you, not just mentally and emotionally, but with actual physical things. Even if it's not like giving up like whole big pieces of furniture, or, you know, completely changing all the curtains or bedspreads, or like pots and pans, like just moving little things that you didn't need out of your home. You're gonna see that that's all you needed to do. Most of the times when we're manifesting things into the physical, like you've been doing little things here and there so much, and it's mostly like the energetic things that needed to be changed, like mentally and emotionally, and ideas and beliefs. And you just need to follow it up with a little bit of action in your physical. You don't need to completely throw out all your old furniture that you don't need. All these, you don't need to redo entire rooms and remodel this entire kitchen. It's oftentimes just getting rid of things that you no longer serves you and that you don't see coming with you into this new future, into this new home, or into this new version of your life. And that's often enough. So I see that you probably did something like that recently, and I feel like you might be preparing for maybe some sort of new upgrade. Maybe you're changing around furniture in one of your rooms, and that's the kind of change you're planning for. But what you're going to get is like a whole new home. You're moving into a whole new home. Or maybe you're looking for a place to live and you're thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be something similar to what I have now, but maybe with a few more things that I would like. And you're getting upgraded to like a home that is like twice your budget, that has everything you need plus some, like something way more than you were expecting is what I'm getting. So I feel like it does feel like spring is here, and I feel like the fact that spirit keeps bringing up like spring is here now, even though spring is like at the time that I'm recording this 6 months from now, whenever you're watching this, it feels like it's a new era starting now, and for the next 6 months it's going to fully come into fruition. So I would not be surprised if in the next 6 months you are moving into a new place, better place than you expected, with better like furniture and a better like situation. It's like it's setting up everything in a better way than you ever imagined. Like not only just getting that home, but getting even better furniture than you have now, which you probably weren't expecting, and even probably have like setting up your home perfectly to aid you in this next chapter, whatever it is for you. Like I think even when you think you're going to be moving, you're like, oh, this is such a better place. I can't believe it. But not only that, but in the next 6 months, you're also going to be able to set it up perfectly. Not just even have that home, but set it up perfectly. And a lot of us, we don't have the know-how, the skills of like a professional like interior design or ergonomics professor that like a teacher that like can set a home up perfectly for you. But like you not only get that home, but you set it up perfectly. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so what's another thing that's coming next for you? What else is coming next for you? Tree. All right. Beautiful. The tree indicating health, body, growth, grounding, and ancestry. So we do see that like with the home, you're also grounding yourself into this new life whatever is next, the next chapter of your life, in a lot of health and good people around you, and a lot of stability and security in all things. So you can see how you're kind of being set up for something like stable and long lasting, and like somewhere you can put like roots down in, like somewhere you're going to live for a long time, a lifestyle, a lifetime. You're going to be like in this kind of way of life for a very long time. So you're like putting down roots, you're setting yourself up really well. It's kind of like the difference of like knowing if you for example know that you're only going to be in this home for like 6 months to a year or a couple of years, like you are not going to take too much time setting everything up perfectly, like at least not everybody, right? Or most people. But if you know you're going to be here for like 5, 10, 20 years, maybe more, like you're going to take the time to set everything up like perfectly, each room, the backyard, like make sure everything's fixed, the roof and everything. Like you're going to make sure that it's like made to last, and it's going to be more specific to you and your lifestyle. And like maybe most people wouldn't face the kitchen that way, but that's what works for you. So you're going to do it because you're not going to sell the house in like anytime soon. So I'm getting like that kind of like settling in to not just like this home, but like this life. So you can see it with health, body, growth, generation, ancestry. You're leaving some sort of legacy, and it starts with your own health. So you're gonna probably find that you're really coming into figuring out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So if you're someone who is like struggling with what kind of style, what kind of clothing is best suited for your body and your lifestyle, what kind of food, what kind of diet is best suited for your lifestyle, what kind of products is best for your skin and hair, what kind of, style of furniture is your style. Like I feel like it's someone who's like come into knowing themselves really well, so you're gonna have things around you reflect that in a lot of ways. Moving, are you kidding me? Yeah. So how like confirmation, change your residence or moving in with your partner. I definitely feel like this is a really healthy thing and something that's going to last for a long time, because Spirit is saying that like you're putting down roots. Like this is somewhere you're going to live for a very long time. And the situation that you're building around this home is a situation you're going to be in a very long time. And that's a really good indication that you're going to be able to take on more, because if you have really good connections around you within the home with your partner or your family, and you have good connections with your neighbors and the people around you, and you have everything set up, you know where you like to go for groceries, you know where you like to go to have fun, or go out to have, take someone out for a treat at a restaurant for dinner or something. Like, you have all your places set up, you have all your home set up, you can take on more. You can take on more outside of the home. So you can take on more for work. You can take on more for, like, in your health too, your home and your health. Your body is the house to your spirit, and home is where the heart is. So the people who are closest to you, if you have good relationships with them, you can take on more. If you have your home set up to help you rather than just detract from you and distract you, then you can take on more. If you have your routines in place and you have your go-to tools and places, then you can explore more outside. So this is going to be good for traveling, for exploring new interests. It's going to be good for work, expanding your business or your career. It's going to be good for taking on more of a public image. You're going to be able to help other people. You're going to be able to take on more friends. You're going to be able to take on things that have to do with connecting with more people. So if you have your home set up, you can take on more. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Friendship, yeah. You're going to be able to take on more friends. And it's kind of like, if you have a good setup, you can take on, as I was saying, things that involve more people. If you're a good person, you can take care of yourself and your immediate loved ones. If you're a great person, you can take on more than that. So if you can take care of yourself and your loved ones, you can probably think about taking on more, helping your community, your neighbors, your extended family, friends who are, not your closest friends. You could, so you can take on helping more people. You can even go on social media. You can go on a more take on more pursuits where you're gonna lead with your face, with your persona, with your persons, with your body. So like, you're gonna be able to make more friends because you're so good with where you are inside your home. Let's see. Because this is an intuitive reading, I'm just kind of pulling whatever decks I feel drawn to, which is why I'm taking some time to pause. Just as I have a few decks I'm pulling from, but I'm pulling from all these different. I have maybe 70 decks around me, and I'm just kind of pulling from whatever I feel intuitively pull to. Swiftness. Okay, and then the Eight of Wands is also about, talking a lot, connecting a lot, social media, connecting all over the internet, seeing people a lot in person, and, swiftly sharing ideas, brainstorming, taking action on those ideas. So I do feel like you're going to be on the move. You're going to be able to take on so many more projects, whether that's in a work capacity, whether that's in building a community capacity, or whether it's in creating more connections, having more friends, having more adventures and events and fun with your friends, whether it's just for the sake of keeping up friendships or it's for the sake of being more charitable and helping others. It doesn't really matter. It might be in one thing, it might be in all of these areas or multiple of these areas. You're just going to be able to take on more projects, more events, more adventures with more people. So I think it's going to be crazy how much your network expands and how much more you can take on and how willing you're going to be to take on more of these things. Because right now you might be thinking I just got to a place where I'm feeling more secure. Do I want to take on a million projects right now? No. But I feel like you're going to be surprised how quickly with this new setup, your energy regenerates where you can take on more. All right, so let's see. this tree and moving. How else is this going to affect you next? Invention, burning with passion. See, I feel like with this kind of setup, you're able to take on more things that you would like to work on, more things that you feel like you can be useful and that you might need or that other people need. And so, like, where is it? Invention is a mother of creativity or something like that, right? So I feel like your mind is so free with this kind of strong rooted tree that you've created for as a home base, for your heart, for your mind, your emotions, and your physical life, that you can take on so much more. And you're going to start seeing all these things that you can take initiative on. I feel like you're already a kind of a creative person and very inventive and see things in a different perspective. You see things in cool, creative ways. Like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if we had this invention for elderly folks? It probably helped them so much. Now you're not only just thinking about it, but you can take action on it. You can follow up. You can create a whole new business on this if you wanted to, And I feel like you have that capacity in a lot of different things. So I feel like you're going to get very busy. I feel like there's like a business mogul in the making here for you, or something of that sort. Like you like if you see like people who are extremely creative, they're not usually creative in just one thing. They like to have their hands in a lot of different things. And if this person comes in to like has the means to take more initiative on more projects, you'll see them kind of expanding their horizon. You'll see their portfolio expand very quickly. Like, if, for example, if it's an entertainer, they might like have their hand in singing and acting, movies, TV shows, doing, theater, or doing other creative art installations or art shows, or putting their hand into anything, so, or something more philanthropic, like whatever. Like if they have, the more money and resources they get, and if they're really creative and they're really connected to their intuitive and creative divine side, they'll keep going, they'll keep pushing in every direction. And I feel like that's what's opening up for you in such a beautiful way. Wow. The Four of Swords in reverse. Not tired. Not having to wait. Yeah, because I feel like if this is you, Pawan, you're about to like explode onto the scene, and you have an idea that you are this way and that you have this ability. You might be kind of burnt out, a little tired, exhausted from whatever you had to do to move into this chapter, into this new cycle. So you probably aren't thinking about this too much right now, but you have a feeling, you're excited that you're getting into this new era of your life. You might be just kind of thinking about how tired you are right now. You're like, I can't even think about this. Like, Mia, I know you are well intended, but like I can't even think about this next step. I'm just catching up on my sleep right now, catching up on like not being so exhausted right now. But I'm telling you like this because you're going to be excited. You're going to be so excited that you're going to have so much more energy. You're going to have more energy because your health is going to be good. Your home base is going to be set up to such a point where you're going to be excited to wake up every day and get to work. A lot of you had glimpses of that in your awakening journey, where you know what it's like to be like very healthy and have all the resources and everything you need to do what you need to do, and then some. But it is probably really exhausting for you to kind of finally close out that chapter and get to this new one. So because we're looking at the next like significant period of time, whatever you closed out was very, very exhausting. And so you're probably just like, I need to sleep for a month or a year or two. And that's totally understandable. If the spirit is saying, like, don't worry, you're going to have more energy no matter what your age is, more energy than you've ever had in your life previously. So think about that. Even like as you were a child or as a teenager or young adult, you're going to have more energy than that. You know? And that's when you when folks have the most energy, right? When they're young. But I feel like as whatever a light worker, you're probably kind of pulled back. You're probably distracted. You're probably tired just surviving, whatever it is that you were going through. And now you come to that place where it's like you're gonna be healthier. You're gonna be more energized and more happier going into work and waking up each day than you ever have, even when you're supposed to have the most energy in your youth. Now is when you're going to have the most energy in your life. So you're going to want to explore all these things. Okay, and then let's wrap up this energy before we go into the next. The secret, the unknown, mysteries, and wonders. I feel like it's kind of really like awe-inspiring for you, or you're going to be getting into that energy if you're not already in it, about like how much there is for you to learn about yourself and the world and what you want to do. Like, I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg of what you've kind of hit. Like, to get to where you are, you had to fight. You know, you had to survive. You had to go through a lot of obstacles. You had to overcome a lot. And it felt like you kind of always started at a deficit. And you had to kind of always make up for that deficit. And whatever challenge that came up to you, you always had to kind of fight to win. So you were just kind of surviving and succeeding, but like succeeding in just getting to this baseline. And now that you're at this baseline, even though you took all this time to figure out who you are and where you're at now and what you want to do with your life, you just figured out, like, even though you are the most authentic version of yourself, the best version of yourself now, you still just hit the tip of the iceberg. Now, with all this freedom, with not things distracting you and depleting you, but actually giving you energy and supporting you and helping you, encouraging you, you're going to just thrive. You're going to exceed. You're going to excel. So I think you're going to be surprised to find out, even if you are feeling like, I've worked so hard to get to who I am now, and I'm so proud of who I am now, how much more there is to discover about yourself and who you are and what you're really good at, and have the time and energies and resources to become good at these things that you don't even know about yourself yet, and use that to live out your life purpose and live a more meaningful life than you could have ever imagined before. These doors are going to open up for you, and I think you're going to be surprised at how much more there is for you to discover about yourself. You know, you might feel like you took a lot of time to discover yourself, but that was healing. That was getting over trauma. That was getting over the difficulties in life. And that was just getting over the challenges to get to where you are now. Now it's like, imagine when your life is easy and set up for you to actually explore who you are and what you meant to do and get good at the things that that are unique to you. You might have thought you were doing that all along, but like, no, this is a whole new era where things are becoming more easy and supportive, and you're going to be able to do these things in a way that you've never had the chance to do before. And it's going to be like you're going to find out who you are tenfold in a much different manner. Okay, so let's go into the next thing. Key. Access, opening doors, solutions, importance. I literally just said opening doors. Oh, wow. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, I think your world is going to expand and open up in ways that you could not have imagined. Like, I feel like this was one door. Like, from going to where you were into this new chapter of your life, it was one door. But I think you're going to be surprised how this one door leads to like a plethora of new doors. Like, it's going to kind of shock you that like this one door and how much it took you to get to this one door is going to open up so many more doors that you did not expect. Like I think you were just kind of like expecting like one door and then leading it to another door. Maybe there's a couple of doors, you get to choose what path you want to go down, but it opens up so many more pathways than you could have ever imagined. It's like a crazy amount of new directions you can go into in this next era of your life. Love call, expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you, informing you. So I do feel like while you're in this really heightened energy, this really high vibrational, high frequency energy, you're going to be surprised how much you attract. You're going to attract all the right people, all the right opportunities, all the right situations, more than you could have imagined. I think you suspected like a little bit, like, yeah, I think I'm going to find, good people to have like relationships with, good people to network with, good work opportunities, good financial opportunities. Yeah, like I think I'm going to see that, but I don't think you understand how the floodgates have opened for you, Pile One. So incredibly much. Travel is going to open up new doors in all corners of the world. I feel like for you, Pile One, this power will resonate with you if you feel like you've been kind of kept in your local area. So if you feel like you've been kind of kept around where you're living now currently, maybe you traveled here and there, but it was like, even if you traveled, you were kind of limited for some reason. If you wanted to move, you were kind of limited to where you could move. If you wanted to kind of travel and explore, you were kind of limited to what you could, where and how you can travel and explore. Not just out physically in the world, but also in terms of resources and researching and information. I feel like that's going to explode. You're going to have access to so much more information. You're going to have access to a lot of things that you couldn't access before, either because of financial reasons or because it was how exclusive it was. You're going to also have access to go explore the world physically in ways that you weren't able to explore before. So these things are opening up in such a transcendental way. I'm trying to say transitional way, but it's more than that. And the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. I'm getting setting up home in different areas. So I am getting that there is this feeling that like wherever you go, because home is where your heart is, and also you've come home to who you authentically truly are. You've figured out who you are at the core, and that's just going to expand more as you go on. Because you've come home, because you have a really good home setup, it feels like wherever you go now, it's going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel like home. You can make home wherever you go. You might have had this kind of quality even before. If you're a light worker, you definitely have the ability to have deep conversations or have people open up to you who you've just met, strangers. You have this comforting quality about you. People are attracted to your light. They feel like they can trust you right off the bat, right? You've already had that kind of quality even beforehand. That's gonna expand like tenfold. So now that you have a really solid foundation in the physical, after creating that solid foundation within yourself energetically, you're going to be able to create that wherever you go. So that's why you're going to be able to expand the people you connect with, and that's why you're going to be able to have this effect on people. If you're a really good empath, you can pick up on other people's energy, right? But if you're a really strong soul with a lot of personal power, you can exude your energy outward. So if you're angry, people in the room feel angry. If you feel calm and cool, collected, everyone else in the room is going to feel that way. So if you feel at home, wherever you go, people are going to feel comfortable around you. People are going to open up to you more. You're going to have better opportunities come through. So this is what's going to happen. Whether it's going to be business related or if it's just something that you do be out of the kindness of your heart, help people, like you're going to have this really strong power that's going to influence a lot of your environment and people in your environment wherever you go. I also do see that you might have multiple homes. You might feel like because you can take on so much more. I don't think you understand. Maybe some of you do. The way the amount that you're able to remember, the data recall that you're going to have, the amount of information you're going to be able to access, and your just the level of intellect is just going to rise so much, Power One, that you're going to be able to handle more of these things. You're going to be able to handle more people, more projects, and you're going to be able to handle having more businesses or more homes around your country or around the world. You're going to be able to handle taking on more personal relationships. And it's just gonna, it might seem like kind of like, am I going to be able to handle that? Maybe that's something that you envisioned before, but you're like, I don't know if I really want that because you're just so tired all the time. But how much you do for some like people around you in your environment already, how you're going to take on like 10 times that, or like even 20 times that, or 30, even 100 for some of you, you're going to be able to, because of how much your energy is expanding. It's going to be crazy how much you can take on. Okay, so let's see. Flip it upside down. Question your beliefs. All right, let's see what this is in regards to. Okay, kind of two cards came up. Three of Cups and the Strength card. And the Three of Cups, especially with the friendship here, I do feel like you're definitely a change maker, and you're definitely gonna have a good, very solid, strong team around you that you're gonna be doing this kind of work with. So with this kind of intense energy, like, you need a team. You definitely need a team. Whether this is a team that I'm getting two things. Okay, a team that supports you, because if you notice, like, a lot of people who have this kind of like high caliber energy, and that can take on this much, they are the visionaries, of the world, and they are like super talented. Have their unique abilities and skill sets, and they know how to like manifest that into unique things that the world can use and can help others, and allow them to take on like a lot of creative endeavors, and profound ones. These are the people that people congregate around, and they can use that energy. They're no longer sucking your energy, leeching off your energies. They're helping your energies and doing something with the energy that you provide. So these are usually the people, they're the talent, right? And there was a business consultant a while ago that I was listening to, and it's just kind of like, if you know this person is making you money, and they're inspiring you and they're helping you, like, and you work for them, and you kind of know them a little bit, it's your duty to kind of help that person be the best that they can be, and take on all the responsibilities that the business needs or that project requires, because you want to help that vision come to life. They're the person that can make it come to life, and you're going to have to help assist them, and they're going to help you become a better person, a better leader, and a better visionary yourself. So it's good to have a good team around you who can learn from you and that you can help, and that also very helps you. But I also see a collaborative thing here where you're going to be working with other people like yourself, very high level visionaries that can change the world. Absolutely flip it upside down. Make the more radical changes that we need now. Like, we see that a lot of people are kind of awakening at this time, but now that all the souls here have chosen this timeline and chosen to go through their awakening and go into the deeper truths, and consented to learning these bigger truths, that's where these you spiritual leader, and other spiritual leaders have chosen to step up and make massive changes and help in these like kind, gentle, but very profound ways. Okay, and last card before we go into the next energy, the Seer. Future prospects, decisions to make, seeking guidance. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be like the oracle, the prophet, for a little while for a lot of people. You're trained to be a leader, and that's exactly what you're going to be. I feel like you might have had some doubts, especially as this other chapter was closing out, because whatever you did before this was a pretty big deal to get you to where you are now. And not everyone who picks this pile is going to have like the most supreme ultimate position here in the world, like the best role. It might be more like, it might be a smaller one in your neighborhood or community. It might be something in regards to multiple counties, multiple regions. It might be something to do with your entire country. It might be something that affects like a lot of people around the world. It doesn't matter how big or small your role is. You're just a spiritual leader, and you're developed to be one, and you're being called at this time to step up in a very large way, and you're going to be very, very well supported. And it's going to seem like you have all these cool things you can do now, and you're able to handle more as your energy kind of like it's grown to such an extent where you can affect everyone in the room, kind of thing, right? You had this effect before. You were building it up for however long you're on your journey for, but it's now being unleashed where people can see it. It's like your light was shining really brightly, but like Spirit was kind of hiding it for a while, which is why you were kind of hiding around your home for a while so you can finish this. But you were probably like, my light's so bright and I've gained so much wisdom and light, and I've taken a lot of efforts, and even in the physical, taken a lot of action and steps and risks. Why isn't it manifesting in the physical? Your light was kind of hidden, and you were kind of hidden for a while, and now it's going to be like this like kind of blanket that was on top of your light is being taken off, and it's going to be like blinding now. It's going to be like a complete, it's going to be pretty drastic because you saw like a tiny bit of it throughout your journey, but like the amount of work you did wasn't manifesting in your physical reality, and there was a reason for that, so you finish it. So it's going to be a huge shift, and you're going to notice it, and you're going to be well respected as a seer, as a leader, because very highly intuitive people, they're the ones who can see the trends, they can see the big issues, they can see the big picture. And so that's something that can help a lot of people in a lot of different areas. That's why you're at the top of the chain. That's why you're like the CEO. That's why you're on the board of directors. That's why you're at the top, because what you can see can help a lot of different departments and companies and people, no matter where they are in life. Okay, so the last energy for you, pile one. This is a long reading. I maybe should have just stuck with one, like a couple of energies, but Spirit said 4. I'm giving it my all, if you can't tell. Like, this is fully intuitive, full power reading. So let's go. This is the card, yeah. Mountain, moving mountains. I love how grounded and very physical and earthy this pile is, with the house, with the tree, with the key moving into the house, the trees, and this mountain. Wow. What intense, like, grounded energy. Do you feel that? Like, it's fresh and new, but it's very big and bold and strong and physical. So in this deck, the mountain represents obstacle, challenge, delay, and stubbornness. And this is so interesting because in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I remember thinking of mountains as like a challenge to overcome. Like in the tarot, that's what the mountains in the background of images signify. It's like challenges to overcome. I'm trying to see if there's any here. No. But as I came into my personal power, the meaning of the mountain changed for me. The symbology of it changed for me. It still represents challenge and obstacle and like something where, you know, you're climbing the mountain. Like even nowadays, if I go for hikes, it's like, yeah, I achieved something. You know, you get to the top. I usually go on hikes around times where I'm facing a challenge, or I just completed a challenge to signify that like I'm gonna get over this, or I did accomplish this challenge. I overcame this challenge. I solved this issue. Mountains have really high energy. People who are really high frequency can live on mountains because it has really high frequency energy. If you're not in a high frequency energy, you try to live on a mountain, it will create challenges for you. But when you're finally can sustain a really high frequency 5D energy, you can live on mountains, and it will assist you in bringing in more high frequency energy for you consistently. You're able to manifest more, you're able to connect with your intuition stronger and better, faster, things happen more quickly for you, so on and so forth. So the mountain now represents your energy, your massive energy, and how much you can affect this physical world. The distance of your aura and how much you can affect this physical reality. That you're the mountain now. You're not that challenge. You are that power. You are that force. Okay. Let's see. Listen to your intuition. Yeah. So your intuition, you're connected to your higher self in a way that is like stronger than ever before. You know how when you're awakening on your spiritual journey, you look for signs, you know, you'll get like, even if you're not looking, you'll get signs when things are happening for you, because you awakened, and you know when, you know, your super subconscious mind or your higher self or your angels or spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, when that energy kind of alerts you to something happening in your life, you'll get a lot of signs, synchronicities when something good is happening. You might be able to have more specific signs, synchronicities as you go on for certain things happening in your life that your subconscious mind or your higher self wants to alert you on. And then you kind of get in the flow, this isn't something that happens once in a while, and it's just something that happens to you consistently. You're connected consistently. You're never disconnected from spirit. And that's the change from 5D, the 3D to 5D. Because once you get into the 5D, you're just always connected to spirit. So the way that I understood this recently is kind of like, we live in a realm of duality, and to kind of graduate this physical realm of duality, this world of duality, is to see things from a higher perspective, to see it in unity perspectives. And so you have to be able to think of paradoxes and be able to sustain paradoxical thinking, right? So this is good and bad. It's both. You are a piece of source energy, and you're always connected to source energy, but you're also living this very unique free will life. So it's like in order to kind of always be connected to source energy, you have to be able to come to a place in your mind mentally where you can have paradoxical ideas happen at the same time and understand and accept both. Which is like that's when you hit enlightenment and go beyond, right? So I know there's a lot of mental gymnastics. There's people who are still struggling to be able to get over negative thoughts consistently, to fight negative self-belief, to fight the lies that are around them that they were told. People are just kind of dealing with the basic things that they have to achieve in terms of mental strength. You know, there's people who have a lot of bad habits and belief systems that they're fighting, and like lack of discipline, like the basics that they still need to achieve in terms of mental strength. And, you know, it's going to take a minute to get to that place where they can, you know, handle paradoxical ideas, you know, simultaneously with everything else going on. So, like, that's how you know you're in 5D energy, because you know that you're a part of source energy. You are source energy. And you're also source energy experiencing itself. You know, like, so it's like, that's how you know you're in 5D. And that's how you know that your power has expanded into a point where you're consistently connected to your higher self. You're connected to all the higher versions of yourself, higher energetic versions of yourself. And you're going to see what's coming up next for you, Pile 1, is that not only are you going to be able to connect with your higher self seamlessly, it's like having a conversation. It's going to be as easy as having a conversation. But you're also going to be able to connect with other higher energetic sources easier as well. Okay. Transformation. Wow, yeah. You're now the butterfly. And at first, I think you're just kind of like, yes, I can fly free. This is so awesome. I'm finally the butterfly. But I think the next step for you is going to be what you can do as this butterfly. Now that you got this pair of wings, not only can you fly, but the places that you can fly, the kind of different wings that you can have, what the colors on your different wings can do, you know, other things you can transform into, other things that, so you can find other abilities that you have, you know. And what being in this energy allows you to do, not just connect with your intuition better, which in itself, connecting to your intuition in a seamless way that you are now in 5D is going to allow you to do so many things that you will be beautiful and crazily amazing. But what other abilities you have in this 5D energy? It's going to be mind-blowing, for sure. The Hierophant. You're making the maps now. I did this channeling, I think earlier this year or last year, where I kind of basically connected with source energy. Like, this is the strongest I've ever connected to source energy and like kind of channeled at the same time. And they were kind of telling me kind of the steps of creation, which is what life, I guess, is all about, at least from my perspective and the way I see it and how I connect to source. And it's kind of like we're a creation of the ultimate creator, right? And as a creation, the best creation we can be of the creator is to create ourselves. And so we have to create in this lifetime, and we start with creating small things like our own inventions, our own ideas, our own lifestyles, our own personalities, developing ourselves and developing like our ideas, right, in our lifetime. And once we create that like creation, it's when our own creation takes on a life of their own that we get to level up. And then the next form of creation could be not just creating creating something in this lifetime, like a artwork or a really good disciplined workout or something, or a good relationship. It's and you know, one of the creations is obviously having offspring, but also creating an environment itself for creation, tapping into the matrix to create. And then it goes into like as you evolve, as your soul and spirit evolves, you like create whole worlds and you create physics of that whole world, and it goes on until you get to other creations, and then you go in to help other people with their creations and current creations and scrap the ones that aren't good and help the creations along that are good, and then it goes all the way back to like going back to the ultimate creator itself, and there's all these like levels. And I had that divine channeling myself, and I've seen a lot of other versions of it and other people's ideals when they went channeling, but it's slightly different than mine, and I feel like mine's more complete and makes more sense to me because that's how I connect to source energy. But the point is that like you get to a point where you're not just creating your ideas and creating and letting them have a life of their own, but you're going to be creating world. You're going to be creating environments for other people, for your creations to create, you know? I hope if you listen to me, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're not going to think I'm weird for going full force in this reading today. I was going to have this is the first reading I'm posting after Pluto moved into Aquarius, and I kind of want to keep it more general. But I wanted to go out with a bang. I wanted to put in like a really good, highly spiritual reading. I didn't think it was going to get this highly spiritual. I thought I was going to keep it more focused on physical things happening for you next. But why settle for that when you can go, you know, have the best? Okay. So this energy, how is it going to wrap up for you? All right, I asked Spirit out of the two spiritual decks, which one should I use? And they're like, why not both? And I'm like, you're right. So, spiritual power, for sure. Like ultimate extreme spiritual power, as much as you can have in this lifetime, in this physical realm, in this physical body. You're about, I can envision like the world kind of coming to a place where there's more harmony, there's more collaboration, things are more natural and organic in the way that we create systems and the way that we live our daily life. That's like the natural up and down that like humanity goes through anyway. But and I kind of envision like humanity exploring its true abilities to its fullest, you know, like the times, not even like Atlantean and Lemurian times. I'm talking about ancient times, even further back than that, when people were gods on Earth. It's gonna be like, there's a reason why shows and movies like X-Men and people having psychic abilities and superpowers are so like popular now, because that's the era we're moving into. The forces that were, the dark forces that were, the powers that were, they kind of try to co-opt that idea of like people becoming superheroes into like, oh, they're gonna abuse their powers. Like if you look at like, what is it, like new, I forget the show on like Amazon, or like even that Will Smith movie. I'm drawing a blank on all these names because they're not important, but Hitchcock or I don't know, something. The Will Smith movie, but and also Boys, I think it's called, on Amazon. Like all these like people using their superpowers very corruptly, and then also like X-Men and all these Marvel superhero movies that have come out, like how it's like only the true few are chosen and stuff like that, and they're going to be like heroes and they have to do all. It's like, no, everyone has the capabilities to turn on their true power, and it's it's not going to come at a time where we still have all these like political challenges and issues in the world. The people's powers turning back on is going to directly correlate with the amount of progress humanity makes in their evolving their consciousness. So like as more people evolve their consciousness, more people are going to have their natural abilities, their psychic abilities, their sixth sense, their talents and skills, psychic talents and skills turn on. So it's a balance. It's gonna evolve together, but I didn't realize it's gonna be like Saint Germain flying type of energy, but apparently so. You've kind of already seen it. Like they admitted that like the Earth isn't like how we think it is. The aliens exist, ETs exist. Like at this point, like everything is coming out into the open. Like there isn't gonna be anything too high. So I'm not surprised that like even there's people out there who already have psychic abilities, who have abilities to move objects, read people's minds, read people's auras, talk to entities on different dimensional planes, even what's it called? See things that are happening on other side of the world. And there's people who have the ability, like telekinesis, like move things. There's people who have the ability to shift their bodies. There's people who have the ability to even levitate. And these things have been shown, proven, seen. But they're just being hidden for so long for whatever reason. There's other worlds that exist in this world. There's portals to other worlds. People have come across it. People have written books about it. People have a ton of accounts on videos and in papers and in interviews. Like it's out there. This is a known thing. People know about these things. It's just a lot of people are not awake enough to actually like attract these truths, and that's because they're not even aware of the truths that they're about themselves. They're lying to themselves. They can't see the lies that are like so in their face. So how are they going to see the truth of like all these other things that exist? You know, for a lot of us, we already know these things exist, and it's just like waiting for the rest of the collective to awaken, right? So secret temptation, being led astray, and spiritual power. Oh yes, I literally just mentioned that. Like how like there's power plays from the dark energies that are obviously dissipating at this time that want to hijack all these things that are already in our future, that's already in our set in our divine plan to awaken and to come into our powers. They can't corrupt us. That's why I'm saying like all these movies and TV shows are like the worst of what can happen. But the creator is never going to let that happen. We as a collective are not accepting that, and will never let that happen. At the worst, there might be one or two people that use these powers corruptly, or there might be a ton of people who kind of may take a second to get into using these abilities in a more positive way. But it's never going to be like as awful, dystopian, and world-ending, and cruel, and low conscious, low vibrational as they're putting out in TV shows and movies and books and kids' minds nowadays. You know, it's never going to be that dark and low as they're making it seem. So they can't corrupt you. They're only going to turn it on for people who are ready, and the people who are ready only have the highest and best intentions for themselves and for those around them. And their light is gonna shine out in the world, and in a balance to how people are ready to receive that kind of information and input. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Healing the earth, love, humility, and respect. Obviously, it seems like you're going to be heroes and like you're going to be the chosen one. And obviously we heard like it doesn't matter what your role is. Everyone has different roles. But yeah, it is true. There's people who are further along in the spiritual journey and who had the privilege to come into this time going through very difficult experiences, but then coming out as people ahead of this journey and being kind of the ones to lead this way. And now here comes some, it's still difficult to kind of be a leader, but you've been kind of prepared for this. You were trained for this, and it's going to it's going to be the better part of your role in this lifetime. You were chosen for this role. You collaborated with Source Energy, your spirit team, for this next part, and it's going to be healing the earth. Of course, you have humility. See, humility is in there because, like, you know, whatever you're helping the world with, you've been through in your own world, in your own experiences, in your own lifetime. So it's not like there's like, I'm better than you. It's just like, oh no, I went through this. You know, I was you, kind of thing. All right, so pile 1. This was crazy reading from beginning to end. I would not have expected this to come through, but I'm very glad that it did. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it really empowers you for the future and the near future and even now. So if you resonate, I really appreciate you like or comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful pile 2. We're looking at what's next for you. It's going to be 4 energies that we're going to look at of what's coming up for you. And this is a timeless reading, but it's going to be like their next like grand cycle. Like what you've ended is probably like so huge that what we're going to look at what's next in terms of next few years, 5 years, 10 years, couple of decades. Like it's going to be like a huge energy, something that lasts for a while. So you probably just completed something very big, and this is what's next for you. So let's get started. Fish. All right. So with fish, we have success in money, flow, entrepreneur. So I do feel like you're going to have a lot of success in money, but more in the sense of money that you created. You kind of open avenues and pathways for money to come in for you. So I feel like whatever ideas you've had about creating wealth, whether it's through a job, a career, a business, or in investing or collaborating with others, I do feel like it's going to be very successful. And I feel like it's going to be more than one idea that you kind of take on. And this could be something that you've been working on for a long time. Could be something new that you're working on now, or this is something that you're going to have an opportunity to move into next in your life. But whatever it is, it's going to be very, very successful and very lucrative financially. So that's the key thing here, huh? Okay. Karmic relationship. Okay. So I do feel like there has been issues with this in your last big cycle that you closed out. I feel like you kept putting energy and effort into creating money for yourself, abundance through your career, your work, your business, and whatever you put your energy and effort into. I feel like you kept putting in energy and effort. You kept doing things differently, taking new risks, doing your research, applying new skills. Like, I feel like you kept going back and back and back, and like it just was not paying off in the way that you wanted. It may have paid off a little bit here and there, but it just never fully come to fruition in the way that you were envisioning, and it didn't match the level of energy and effort that you were putting in. So let's see what Spirit has to say about that. Dreams. I feel like you are a dreamer. You had big goals, big dreams, and you play the long game. There's a lot of people out there who play the short game. They take a job because they need the money now. They don't take much thought about like how this is going to affect their health or the people around them, or how this might work out in the next like 2, 5, 10 years. I feel like a lot of people make quick decisions and don't think about long-term effects of the decisions that they're making, which means that their decisions are poor or not the best decisions for them. And then they're wondering 2, 3, 5 years from now, like, hey, I took this job because it was going to make me money right away, and I needed the, security, or I needed the what's it called, the benefits immediately, and it just didn't, like, but I'm like at this job now for 2, 5 years, and like I haven't seen any change, nothing got better, and you wonder why. Like, why did you even take this job in the first place? It wasn't because you're gonna have consistent long-term growth potential here. It wasn't that you agreed that this is the money that you need in for the future that you want. It was just what you needed immediately, or what you thought you needed immediately. It wasn't a decision based on the long term. It was a decision based on this second, which is okay once in a while, but like if you're still in that decision that was supposed to be temporary, if you're still in that situation that was supposed to be temporary, then, and you're wondering why things haven't changed, that's why, right? So a lot of people don't think that way. You do. You think long term. You think, what's next? How can I improve? What can I do differently? And that's what's important here. So let's see how this abundance of money is coming in. 9 of Cups. Okay. So you're a dreamer and you have a vision of what you want to put out into the world. You are very creative. You're really good magnetic personality, even if you don't think so. Like, you're very charismatic, and people like to hear from you. People like to hear what you have to say. They like your ideas, and it just feels like maybe your ideas weren't so practical to some people. Like, you were just kind of whispering beautiful nothings to people, and it just felt like, like, oh, like they're an ideal person, they have great ideas, like I don't know if they'll ever happen for them, but they seem like a genuinely good person who is has great value if they found the right circumstances, found the right company to work for, found the right business partner, or had all the resources and the means to take their ideas further. And now you're going to be proving to be that person. Pile 2, you are that person. You are that main character making it happen in the world. You're like, you're one of those example, like those tech people that kind of started in a garage and made their dreams happen, and people want to be like them but aren't willing to do the work behind their bigger dreams, goals, and aspirations. You are. And this is you kind of stepping into that role. What you might feel like this is unbelievable. I don't think this is real. Some of you might not even know who I am, or who this Mystic Mia. Well, there's something you can definitely confirm. The world is changing. The fake leaders who are narcissistic, selfish, had huge egos, and only cared about themselves at the expense of others are being cleared out. And what's going to replace those leaders, whether it's in business, whether it's in government, whether it's on entertainment, whether it's in media, like whether it's in our communities, and in just like every area, these leaders that weren't for the people are leaving, being forced out of office, and there are going to be people to replace those. Do you know how many people there are? These corrupt MFers who kind of screwed the rest of us for so long. So many, in all departments, in all areas, in all industries. Clear it out. There's going to be a ton of new leaders needed. And there's been a lot of light workers who have been prepared for this changeover. you being one of them pile too. All right, so let's see. How else is this? Increase in finances, increase in wealth coming in. Dance. Move your body to music. Dance with the rhythm of life. Manifest your dreams through dance. This is interesting. I think this is the second time this message has come up. There's something about moving your body. What was I listening to? Edgar Casey's book on connecting with your higher self. There's music, like expressing your creativity is a great way to connect with your higher self, but like listening to music, dancing, singing, repeating a saying while repeating like a mantra, something repetitive, while moving your body to a rhythmic beat, like allows you to connect to your higher self. Also, like smells are a really good kind of way to connect. Like I always use incense when I meditate and when I do readings. And so that's my sign to my mind that I'm ready to connect. It's my sign to my higher self and my spirit team that like I'm ready to connect. So to have these kind of like cues and clues and ways to connect to your higher self, it's like really helpful to kind of loosen up your energy and allow you to kind of open up and connect with your higher guidance. So I did get like that with the dance. Like it's not only a sign that like it's not only puts you in a good mood, but it kind of loosens up your energy to allow you to connect, you know, because one of the only ways that a lot of people nowadays connect to their higher guidance is like when they're about to fall asleep or right when they wake up, because that's when their body is finally the most relaxed throughout the whole day. But if you meditate or if you go for walks and you keep your frequency high in other ways, listening to music or dance, and you know once in a while throughout the day, that allows you to connect to source energy also, because your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed and happy and high frequency. So that's kind of like my like spirit's way to say through me that relax your energies, you know, like shake it out. Let's see, what's the more practical guidance here? Seek truth. Wow, the Hermit. They came out face down. There's just so much more that your higher self wants to tell you. So they're encouraging you to kind of keep your vibes high at this time. Make it rain. Like dance to the rain gods, I'm hearing. Dance, sing, kind of keep your frequencies high so they can keep connecting you and keep giving you good ideas of how to get your money. I feel like because you're connecting to source energy so well now, because you stepped into this new era where you're consistently in 5D energies, consistently sustaining high frequency energies in your thoughts and how in your actions and your goals. Now your spirit team is like, yeah, now you're ready because you've built this foundation, this really stable and secure foundation in your energies. Now we can continuously give you directions of like, yeah, do this idea. This is how you do this. Like, it's like a literally, like a financial advisor, like literally connecting with you at all times, being like, you do this, do that. They're literally going to show you the way to wealth. And it's not going to be like waiting for a sign or being frustrated of what direction to take or what decision to make. They're going to be actively working with you consistently because you're now connected to the 5D consistently. You're connected to your higher self on a level where you can sustain that connection and get, like, collaborate on information and decisions consistently. So you're going to be literally shown the way, and they're going to be able to connect with you as if you're just talking to a friend or a really good advisor. Yeah. Okay. Last card here before we move on to the next energy. Tree of Souls, collective wisdom, kinship group, and library. Yeah, see? So you're going to have access to information energetically and physically, like to your higher self, to your spirit team, and to other energetic beings that are going to allow you to seek the truth, the light, the wisdom, the information that you need. So I do feel like you're going to figure out some sort of practice that's going to... I feel like dancing is just like a metaphor. It could be actually dancing. Like when, for example, when you do transcendental meditation, you're kind of chanting, you have rhythmic music, and you're moving your body to that rhythmic music. And that's how I usually get into transcendental meditation. And that's when I connect to like energy, like right away, like source energy or whatever higher energetic being I'm connecting to that session. Or yeah. So like, I feel like you're going to find that sort of routine. I'm getting in your awakened state, so you don't have to like sit down and meditate or go for a walk or get really peaceful and sleepy. Maybe for a lot of you, you might start that way, especially if you don't have these practices advanced to a place where you know how to connect on that level. But for those of you who are able to, because this is a highly spiritual reading for highly spiritual folks, if you're at a point where you know how to connect to those higher energies consistently, it's tried and true methods. I feel like you're going to evolve into a more like integrated into your awakened reality form of connecting to your higher self and this like the higher information and the collaborative decision making. Like there's going to be a different kind of habit or ritual that you kind of form to kind of have your higher self on call. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For a lot of you, I mean, pile 1, 2, and 3 is like for all light workers, highly spiritual folks, starseeds, whatever you want to call yourself. But twin flames, spiritual warriors, whatever you want to call yourself, but like way showers, change makers. I feel like you're already going into an environment that's like better for your manifestations and your spiritual practices and your life purpose. So I feel like it's your environment that's going to allow you to easily access these higher realms or these higher energetic sources. Yeah, because for some of you it's going to be ancestors, so some of you it's going to be more nature spirits, some of you it's going to be more your spirit guides, some of you it's going to be other energetic beings, ETs, angels, archangels, ascended masters, whatever it is. But I feel like it's like because you're around a really high frequency environment, because you're already around high frequency people and things and situations, that's going to add to your ability to have to do less to connect with your spirit team and higher self more and strongly and often. That makes sense. All right, so let's go into what else is next for you, beautiful pile 2. Rider. Interesting. Okay, so the rider is about news and an unexpected message and moving forward. So I feel like what's next for you is you can expect some news that is going to be kind of life-changing. So this has to do with your work, with your money situation. It's really like unexpected news that's coming to you very soon that's going to be like life-changing. It's going to have like a major life-changing effect on your life. Yeah. Let's see what this news is going to be in regards to. Okay, so I feel like the Knight of Cups, hit the Knight of Cups here, this card, give it time in reverse. And so I feel like Spirit has been kind of telling you, like, keep following your dreams, keep following your intuition, keep following your heart, keep taking action, keep going with what you're doing now. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So like, even if whatever you're doing for your work right now, even if you feel like, oh, I might change it up, even if you've tried to change it up, even if you put in more effort to level it up, whatever you've been doing, like right now, Spirit is telling you to keep going, keep going, keep going. You probably even had your own messages saying like, just keep going with what you're doing. You're doing great. Whatever ideas you have, like, go with that. Like, keep going with what you're doing now. And even if that changes in the future, like right now, you're supposed to just keep going with what you're doing for work, or whatever plans you already have. Or you might find that you kind of expand and grow what you're currently working on in ways that you couldn't expect now. Or you might have been like, you might be surprised that your business blows up, or that you'll get a career opportunity that you weren't planning for or could not foresee. And so Spirit is saying, like, expect, like, with all this energy being built up that you worked so hard on in your previous cycle, like, come full force. You know what I'm getting? What's that image? Like when a cloud just like pops and like all the rain kind of, is it called like a rain burst or something like that? When a cloud just like bursts and all this water just like floods wherever it lands, like it just, ton of water just falls onto the earth from that cloud. I'm getting that kind of energy where it just explodes into your world, like this opportunity, or your career or business doing really well out of nowhere that you didn't expect because you put so much energy, effort, and kept going in the past and didn't see anything, and it all just comes through now, all at once. I mean, I'm getting this all at once kind of feeling for you, pile 2. So like, and it happens like pretty soon, like sooner than you probably think. So I think like you don't have to give it more time. Like, it's like, if you're kind of like, oh, not again, like, I had to keep going. No, this time is different, and you know it, pile 2. If this is your pile, you've been getting signs to keep going, and you don't feel like it's burdensome or you regret it. You feel like, yeah, this time it's going to work, because it is. This time it is definitely going to work, and it's going to be like the results of your hard work, not just in recent weeks or months, but in recent years of work, Okay, so how's this going to show up? Freedom. So it feels like you've been kind of caged in because you might have tried to take a lot of risks. You might have tried a lot of maybe you tried different careers. Maybe you tried different approaches to this same dream. And it felt like there's nothing other than what you're doing now that you rather do, or kind of in the line of work, or kind of in the field that you're in now. Like, there's nothing, like, you've explored, you've tried everything, or you tried a lot of things, and it's like there's nothing that's better suited to you than what you're doing now, at least at this time in your life. And so to finally have that kind of success come through in such a big way, in an unexpected way, like almost overnight kind of feeling, it gives you such a sense of relief that, like, oh yes, like everything that I was working on was worth it. It amounted to this. I knew it was going to amount to something. I'm so glad that it did. I'm glad I never gave up. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting for you. Pile 2. Okay, let's see. Freedom card. You don't have to give it time anymore. The Hermit. We have the Hermit twice. So there is this energy of like, you receive this by yourself first. So there's a lot of massive changes that are happening for a lot of light workers, especially those who have been on the journey for a long time and accomplished a lot on their journey by putting a lot of energy and focus on their healing and finding who they are and what their meaning for life is and their life purpose and such, following their heart. Like, there's a lot of light workers who put their heart and soul into their life alone, and you done most of this journey alone. I feel like this is one more thing where you're going to experience it alone. This is the last thing you're going to experience alone before you get a vast network of people coming in to help you with, obviously, your vast success and in your business and your work and whatever, is this reward. You deserve it, and it's not meant for the people who helped you get here. It's not meant for because they were in and out. They didn't do the work you did. They might have helped you, and that's great, but it wasn't their journey. This was your journey, and you did it yourself, even if you had help along the way, or even if you helped a lot of others along the way. Like, this was ultimately your character arc. This is your story. This is your journey. And it took you this long to get to where you are. So when you receive the results, the rewards, the just desserts, it's going to be just you. This is your efforts, your idea, your manifestations. You did the hard work all yourself, mostly yourself. Even if you asked others for help, like, you had to tell them how to help you, or you're the one who had to go ask them for help. It's like, it was all you. And that's why this reward is all for just you. So there's one more thing you got to do alone, pal, too. And this journey, this harrowing journey, this spiritual journey that you had to do alone, which people who awaken in the future won't have to do it alone. You did, pal, too. You had to do it alone. Is getting all that good manifestation, abundance, results, rewards, good surprises, good gifts from the universe, all of that. And you're going to feel very, very good that you got here, even if it was by yourself. There's no better accomplishment, no better feeling than feeling that level of accomplishment. It's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, for sure. This was a really big one for you, pal, too. Let's see. How else this might manifest for you. This good news. This unexpected good news that kind of changes the game for you. Choice, understanding consequences. It came out in reverse. And also the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, so both these cards came out in reverse. All right, it feels like the choice is made. So I feel like there might have been a lot of back and forth on the current career choices you've made, because it's like you're following your heart, you're doing what your intuition is saying, you're following your guides, but you're not seeing results. And you might have backed out many, many, many times because it didn't give you the money that you needed, it didn't give you the support or resources that you needed, or not consistent enough, because it just seemed like you were putting a lot of energy and effort for something that wasn't paying off, that no one was really understanding it, or there was no room for what you were doing in the world. Lack of acknowledgement, lack of results. And when this unexpected news or opportunity comes through, it's gonna like release all that pressure and doubt, and it's gonna show you that you are indeed on the right path. Not only that, like, Spirit will open the doors for you, open the gates to show you that this is the path you're going to be going on, and you're going to get more clarity, because it feels like you've been walking in the fog for so long on this path, and you're kind of like, was I turned around? Should I turn around? Have I gone too far? Like, what if this is just leads nowhere? What if it leaves me off a cliff? You just kept going, one foot in front of the other, only seeing the few steps ahead, and just trusting the unseen, trusting your instincts, your intuition, and your guides, and to pull you through, keep you on the path. And now it's like all the fog is like lifted, and you have these, pearly white gates, or shining golden gates open, and you see this path, and it's beautiful, and it's very secure and stable and bold and beautiful. It's just, and you can see it for miles and miles, and it's just beautiful rays of sunshine, and like the strongest path, the most beautiful path you could ever see. And it's like, not only do you know you're on the right path, but you know how it's going to grow. You're going to see how it evolves. You're going to see how it might look in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, 30 decade, what your legacy is going to leave. You're going to see it with such clarity and high definition and such vibrant colors that it's going to make you feel more than just like weight off your shoulder, or finally like you can breathe, it's going to feel like so good knowing that you got through something that not many people get through, that you achieved something that significant in life, and that you made it, and it's going to be good for here on out. You know, there's going to be challenges here and there, but like you've picked this path and it was the right one, and it's opened up so many doors for you. There's like a certain power in knowing, and having to believe in yourself without knowing how it's going to turn out is really difficult. But knowing and believing in yourself when you know everything is going your way and it's working out and it's going to continue to work out, that belief in yourself is like concrete. You know, it's at 100%. Your belief in yourself, your confidence in yourself and in the divine is through the roof. And that changes a person. That changes your life, right? And that changes what happens for you in the future as well. Let's like wrap up this energy and go into the next one. The healing temple, restoration, cure, and safety. Yeah. There's a place like you're going to have such ultimate healing where you're no longer going to ever feel like doubt yourself ever again. Imagine the power of that. You're never going to doubt yourself ever again. You're never going to doubt the divine ever again. You're never going to doubt your abilities, your talents, your skills. That is power. That is personal power. That is going to radiate off of you. People are going to feel it when they hear your name, when they see you in a room, or just see you on like their some sort of technology through the media. They can feel it off of you. When someone knows what they're talking about and they believe in it too, like there's nothing that person can't do. It's gonna restore like a part of your soul. It aligns with you kind of being in 5D energies consistently, knowing that you're connected to source energy consistently. You're gonna be able to like there's a difference from imagine not knowing, forgetting that you're connected to source energy all the time, going through a treacherous journey to find source energy, to connect with source energy, and to keep that connection consistent, and being on the other side of it in the 5D energy where you're consistently connected to the divine and you know it and you know what you're supposed to do and what we're able to do and not able to do in this lifetime, using your willpower and knowing your destiny, and having that much power, it changes you on a microscopic level. That's when I'm hearing move into the 5D energy, 5D body. Interesting. Okay, so let's go into the next energy. What else is next for you, pile 2? Okay. Whip. I'm getting whip them into shape. Whip things into shape. Arguments, addictions, decisions, and passions. All right. So you're someone who's going to be cracking the whip, I'm hearing. And this is a kind of I know a lot of people have a concern that once you come into your personal power, a lot of people feel like, am I going to abuse that power? Watch pile 1 if you're interested in that. But it's kind of no, you have this power to set things straight, to do the right things, and to take on bigger components, take on bigger dark energies, So you have the power now to take on more for the collective, take on bigger powers. And that's where I'm getting from the whip. There's this energy of and to be an incredibly high frequency soul, you have to have gone through an equal amount of low frequency. You can't grow this way in light if you don't grow the other way and be aware of that same level of darkness. So if you have like a gang come into your city or your hometown, like an outside gang, like the police aren't going to be able to do anything about that. The government's not going to be able to do anything about that. The villagers or townspeople aren't going to be able to do anything about that. And you need to have your hometown king, someone who has an equal amount of dark energy force in them to fend off that outside gang. And the people who are at the top, people who are seemingly, who have a lot of power, like, you can have power and use it for light or for dark, and for a long time now, we had a lot of people who are at the top of all these areas of industries and governments that had a lot of power and used it for dark. With our collective consciousness growing, we are not consenting to that power over us anymore. And so they're losing their power. They're losing the power because they were only able to exercise that power in a dark way. Now you're going to see a lot of leaders step up, a lot of light workers step up in these leadership roles, and they are someone who can understand the level of darkness that these powers that were at. They can understand it, they can fight it, but they are choosing to use their power in a very, very light way, in a very, very high frequency way that affects a lot of people, because that's how much power they have. But you can't you can't hold that much light without having that much awareness and understanding and experience of the dark. You can't. That's why a lot of people are kind of so confused right now about a lot of leadership in a lot of different areas, like entertainment and government and media and like companies and our communities. They're confused on who the good guy and the bad guy is because they're not awakened. They don't know the truth within themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't know what side they're on. They don't know. They're confused about good and bad and all that stuff. And they need to kind of transcend that and see the things from a higher perspective. And they can't see who's good or bad or who's using their power or energy for good and bad in other people if they don't know that about themselves. And that's why you see a lot of people confused about who's good, who's bad, All right, so let's see. You're whipping people into shape. You're whipping, you're pulling out the whip. You're going to see a lot of people, a lot of good people make a lot of wartime moves. These are generals, do they want war? No, it's not good. War isn't good for any side. But if you have to be, you want to conduct war in a way that is going to keep the most people alive and keep the most resources for all the good people, especially for your own home. And so that's what's going to happen. If good people are forced to go into war, even if they don't like it, they're going to have to step up and be the best leader that they can be. And you're going to see a lot of that happen and make a lot of moves that are kind of dirty, but that's what you need to do when someone else is fighting dirty with you too. All right, clock. Needing time, cycles, takes time to heal and progressing. Yeah. And it came up right side up, meaning that you are going to be in this role for a while. Because a lot of these people are just awakening, and you have a lot. You might be even someone who has an idea of how to move these things in the world, how to change education in the world, how to change, you know, the workplace in the world, how do you change communities, how do you change towns and cities to be more productive for the people, working harmoniously and helpful for all involved. You know, how do you change industries, how do you change technologies, how do you change the medical industry, how do you change the food industry. Like all these things are going to be coming up, and they're going to take some time, because you although you're going to be working with a lot of people who are like-minded, you're also changing it for people who are still coming to terms with their healing in this regard. So pile 2, this is a spiel for like, if you're ahead of this and you kind of know what's happening in the world, you're a truth seeker, you are a truther, you kind of know what conspiracy theories are actually real and what are psyops. Like, you understand the deeper truths out there that's taking a lot of the collective time to figure out, you know, because they haven't done their inner work and it's taking them a while to figure things out. You understand this, you're gonna be cracking the whip. You're going to be getting things going. So it's easier for people to see the truth out there in their external environment. Because if you want to watch Pile 1, I've already talked about this, but the people on this timeline who are going to be awakening in this next age of Aquarius, going into the golden age, are consenting to see the truth. And you're gonna be one of those people that gets that ball rolling faster for people. Okay, let's see. How is this gonna affect you? Empowerment, yeah. First of all, you're feeling very empowered because you had some major confirmations in your life about the direction you've been always going in, what you always knew about yourself, what you always knew you were meant to be, your destiny. You got major confirmations about your life and the direction it's going in. So you're very empowered, and you're here to empower other people now with the truth, with healing, with certain tools that can help others, with taking out the trash. You know, you're kind of in charge of these things in very big ways. And because I see financial abundance and career success, like, I do feel like you're going to be more in the physical realm, doing this in a more public way. Opening doors. Okay. You have a lot of good ideas, I'm hearing. You have a lot of good ideas for a lot of different industries. So I feel like you have your hands in a lot of pies. I don't know what that saying is, but like you have interest in a lot of different areas. And so you're going to be busy. You don't like to sit still. You don't like to just you're an intellectual, so you don't like to just kind of stick on one idea. You like to kind of expand into different areas. And for the level of success that you get, you're able to influence multiple areas. You like to keep busy. You have a lot of ideas. You don't want to stop. You're like a true spiritual warrior, Pile 2. Let's see how that translates for you. What does Spirit want to say to you about that? Become the elixir. Let your glow do the heavy lifting. Yeah, it's gonna come naturally to you. I feel like you're gonna have this like natural ability to be a superhero. You're gonna know what to do. You're gonna know what trash to take out, what to change, what to implement. You're gonna be able to come into an area and be able to assess the needs of that group or community and implement the changes right away. I feel like, what's it called? What's that position where where you like come in to the company or that specific location of the company and you assess what's like needed and not needed, and kind of implement those changes, but not in a way that everyone's like, oh, this sucks. Like they think they know us, they think they know the people, but every time they make these changes, it turns out being worse. We have to relearn everything. We go back to going the old ways anyway. Not that way. I feel like you actually come through and actually make things more harmonious, make sense. You make things work in a system that makes sense and works and helps everyone. And it comes naturally to you. So you have a natural ability to lead. You have the natural ability to problem solve. You're very, very highly intellectual. You're incredibly smart. You're incredibly gifted. You're able to connect ideas very well. You're very intuitive. You're able to connect different ideas. You're able to problem solve in very unique ways. Let's see. The Moon card. It's kind of interesting because I feel like you have this ability, but you don't question how you know these things, how it comes to you, or why it's coming to you. Like we see earlier that like, oh yeah, you figured out a way to let spirit bring these ideas for you and solutions to you. You don't question it. You don't try to second guess it. Like you just know this is what we have to do. Yeah, you become a really good channeler, Pile 2. Really good conduit for the divine to bring through the right ideas and the right solutions. You don't question it. You just kind of step out of the way. This is like divine's work. You understand your role and implement these ideas. You don't question it. You don't second guess it. You just do what you have to do. You understand your role. And you just kind of like thank the divine. You just are grateful that you have this role in life. And especially at this time. It's very empowering for you too, that like, and very humbling that like, yeah, like you're able to do these awesome things, but like giving the credit to source energy. That like, yeah, you're just a conduit for these ideas. You did the hard work to get here to be the most perfect, best conduit for divine ideas and the divine plan. But you're so grateful you get to be a part of this and witness this happen and experience it in your own life. Okay. The Secret of Camelot, the Authority of Spirit. Yeah, there's an energy of like you have a special role here, Pile 2, and you're not questioning it. You're just kind of like you're this magical oracle or high priest or high priestess. You were chosen to be a divine channel, and you're not questioning it. You're not ungrateful. You understand why you had to go through the things that you did, and you understand why you have access to this information. I'm getting from past lives too. You have developed certain skills and abilities and talents, and you had these natural abilities from like birth in this lifetime that lend themselves in to be this perfect divine conduit. So you might have really good public speaking skills. You might have the ability to connect with people from a lot of different backgrounds. You might have the very good intuition. You might have the ability to connect a lot of different ideas, thoughts, people, places, and things. Express ideas, brainstorm, be able to draw the best idea to you or the best solution out of nowhere. And to sustain a really, really cool, calm, collected attitude, because if you get too excited or too mad when these ideas come to you, they're not going to come to you. Emotions kind of block these insights. So you've like kind of learned a way to be able to kind of put your ego and your identity in this lifetime in the background, to allow in this perfect opportunity and idea. And you've also learned how to magnetize the best, highest, and best idea to you through your higher self, your spirit team, or whatever from the universe simultaneously. And you also have the natural skills, abilities, and talents that you've developed in this lifetime so far to be able to implement that idea or solution or whatever it is into the physical. So there's multiple like parts to why you were chosen for this and why you're so good at it. And you're able to go back to your own life easily, like seamlessly, and go into this kind of work and like do it when you need to, like on command almost. Okay, wow. All right, and then now the last energy that is next for you. So what else is next for you? The Tower. Wow. Okay, so in this deck, the Tower signifies innovation, authority, education, and ego. So I'm not surprised if you start a very, very big company and it's like very like it ends up being very big. A very big foundation, a very big business company, industry. I'm not surprised if you work with big industries, if you work with governments or whole industries, or a whole system like the educational system or the food system, like, or if you set these things up. A new company, yeah, it's foundational. What you create is like very, very big, systemic. So, and I feel like it's more than one. I'm getting it's like opposite of the Rockefellers. It's like kind of they did it for more selfish needs. Like they set up all these, like they set up the education system, they set up the hospitals, they set up the workplace rules all so it can give them more money, right? But you're like the opposite of these Rockefeller. You're like the spiritual Rockefellers, right? Like you're the ones, you're setting up all these systems that help everyone and bring more harmony and bring that's more natural and is good for people, not just for you. And that's how you make your millions and billions actually too, because you want the slice of the pie. Like you work really hard, obviously, like there's some like checks and balances, and like, you're obviously going to be very, very successful, and you're going to live a very this is a very opulent lifestyle as well. But that's because it comes with the territory. If you have that extreme amount of energy and that extreme amount of influence and power, and for you, luckily you're using it for good, you're going to have the lifestyle to match that, and that's totally fine, especially because you spend a lot of time in the physical realm doing really, really big things. Yeah, you deserve it. And don't tell no one can tell you anything otherwise. Okay. So yeah, wow. You're a big deal, pal, too. Okay. Let go, and it hit the let your glow do the heavy lifting thing. So Spirit's kind of like telling you. Oh, and then don't stop also came up. So Spirit is kind of telling you that just don't worry about what you're doing. We got in the beginning, like whatever you're doing now, just do it. Don't worry about anything, about money, about people involved, about what steps you should take, the long-term plan, how you're going to take care of this, but how do I include this skill, or like what do other people want, or what are the numbers involved with this. Don't worry about anything. Just keep going. Whatever you're doing now, don't stop. Just keep going. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, whatever you feel intuitively guided to do, whatever is going to be following your heart, just do that. Just keep going. Right now, the energy has changed so massively. There's been mad timeline shifts. There's been so many major energy shifts. Like, it's to the point where you are set up to win no matter what. So just keep going. And even though it feels like, oh, it didn't work out in the past, things are different now. The energy is completely different now. It's happening now. Now you're available. You're able to manifest all these big 5D things. You couldn't do it in the 3D. Now we're in this 5D energy. You can manifest those big dreams that you had. Those are 5D dreams. They weren't going to manifest in the 3D. They're going to manifest now in the 5D. All right, so how does this look for you? Passion. I came out reverse. So I do feel like you have a lot of passion for what you're doing. So it's like very exciting for you because it matters to you. It excites you. This is like your thing. This is a thing that you've always felt truly passionate about, what truly resonates with you, what you're very, very interested in. So it's like finally letting that passion fire burn and like let it all out. I'm getting like fireballs. So it's like, I feel like, yeah, right off the bat, like you're just like ready to go. You have so much energy and you're ready to let this creative fire burn and really warm up and comfort like as many people, places, and things as you can. It feels like you also have a lot of passion in things outside of work, because I do feel like you're going to get a lot of money, so you're gonna have a lot of expensive hobbies, a lot of things that you're interested in that you didn't get the chance to be interested in before, or to the level you can. If you want to have a nice watch collection, if you want to try the most gourmet meals in the world, if you want to have really expensive hobbies or sports or activities that you want to be able to do, it's gonna match the intensity of your passions for the new hobbies that are very high frequency are going to match the passion you have for life and the work that you're doing. That's why like no one's gonna like blink an eye when you start like wearing very expensive clothes or having very expensive lifestyle, very expensive vacations, buying boats and jets and whatever. Like, not everyone's gonna get to that level, but like your version of that, wherever you end up on this beautiful journey in this role. But I aim to channel the highest and best, right? So like you're gonna have a lot of these things, and they're very, like someone with a very expensive taste, and no one's gonna even bat an eye, because it's just like, you deserve this. Obviously, you're putting in so much intense work to help so many people, and everyone can see it. And everyone knows what you're doing. And everyone's like questioning themselves, like, I can't even do like 1/10 of what they're doing. I aspire to do even 1/10 of what they're doing. And even that would take a lot of energy and hard work. I don't know how they're doing this, So people know and understand and don't like think twice about it. Okay, and 4 of Wands. So we see this energy of home. Happy home, happy married life. I do feel like you have a really good romantic life. And if you can really you can do whatever you want. You can be monogamous if you wanted and have a really, really good marriage life and really good family life, and you like to hang out with your family, your extended family, your soul family, friends who will feel like family to you, your community. You could be very involved and passionate in that way. But even if you were wanting to share your passion and love with as many people as possible, no one would bat an eye. You kind of have that much power that like you're able to do that. It's kind of like, although I'm not a fan of polygamy, I can understand when someone has so much power that they need that kind of intense burning passion in their intimate life as well, like whether it's with and oftentimes like the people who mate with these folks, like they understand that they have so much power, they can take on more, and male or female, I'm not against it, but like, like these folks know like, hey, like we have to share this person because they are meant for more than one person, so it doesn't, like, whatever floats your boat, but I do feel like you have so much power and passion and zeal for life that no one's gonna really question your choices, because no one can really put themselves in your shoes. You definitely have something, you have the it factor, you have something extra, you're extraordinary, and therefore you're gonna live an extraordinary life as something that's like completely different from ordinary folks, so yeah, wow. And I feel like it wouldn't be in a negative way either. However you choose to live your home life, that's up to you. But it's going to be definitely more powerful than the typical person's home life, you know what I mean? And it could be just that, like, you're, very monogamous and your partner is just as zealous as you. And you just have a very involved, intense home life and family life as you do your work life, So going tit for tat kind of thing. Very passionate, intimate life, and a very passionate, obviously external work life as well. Okay, so because this is a very spiritual reading, I'm going to pull a couple of very spiritual cards to wrap up your reading pile too. Between Worlds, New Directions, yeah. It's very interesting because you're going back and forth from being this very, like, a conduit for divine energies and being this very regal, high frequency, like angelic, statuesque, perfect poised being, to kind of being this like crazy adrenaline rush, thrill seeker, adventurous, living a very like extraordinary life person when you're not working, because it's kind of like, you're still gonna carve out time for your own life and your own personal life, but then you're also doing this like really altruistic, high level humanitarian work for the world. So it's kind of like, you can be both, and that's the purpose. That's the point. Like a lot of people who can't hold those like paradoxical ideas aren't gonna achieve those great things in life, because in order to be really divinely connected and to be connected to source 24/7 or whatever you want on call, and to live that really like high level life, you're gonna have to be able to understand really high level concepts and exercise really strong mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical strength. And that's kind of the point. You're very, very strong in more ways than one. The best leaders are people who are mentally strong and physically strong, emotionally strong, and spiritually strong, who are strong in all ways. Those are the best leaders, right? And physical strength matters. It does, because it shows you, because being in your physical most fit form, allows you to be able to think better, connect to your intuition better, and be able to take on more, and like, you know, just even morally be better. But so like there is a correlation to physical health and the health of other areas of your life. It's like, it's a very direct correlation, and anyone who thinks otherwise has some truth to kind of heal and discover. Okay, let's see. What Spirit wants you to know. Okay, cosmic knowledge. Okay. You are being blessed to have knowledge that most people would only dream of acquiring, or may have spent decades researching for you to find and confirm. You might be able to find like cool things. Like, people in this pile who pick this pile are going to be the ones who kind of like are being told like where to go to discover this historical fact, or this historical or ancient artifact. You know, these are the people who are going to be like told like, this is the medicine you need to cure this or help with this. Like, pile 2 are going to be like huge game changers in the world that have access to this kind of information. So it's like it's a privilege. You definitely worked your butt off for it. You went through the hardest things that life can throw at you. So a lot of people might not understand that that's why you got this role, why you were prepared for it. Like, if they want to be like you, they're going to have to go through those challenges, you know? They have to sign up for it. So, you know, it's a privilege to be able to be this... like, I'm getting like diplomat for the higher frequency energies. And there are definitely perks for it, but there's also a huge, it was like not for the weak-hearted, right? It's not for people who are weak to do what you had to do to attain this role, to be promoted to this role. Yeah, it's like a divine promotion. And people are going to know, like, it's going to be really easy to understand for people, like, oh yeah, like what you've been through, what you're capable of, like why you have this role in life. You know, it's not going to be like, people are like, oh, why them? Like, they always get lucky, or, you know, why do they get to have this and I don't? They're going to be like, yeah, I understand. They definitely deserve that. Like, I don't think I want to go through that in this lifetime to be able to have a power like them. Like, they, you know, they deserve that. They get it. And mountain lights. Light beings, portals, and subtle energies. I wouldn't be even surprised if there's actual realms that you're able to kind of cross over to and visit. So there are realms around the world, to different dimensions or different worlds. Like that's kind of Earth. There's like a ton of portals. There's a ton of gateways on this Earth. If you don't know about it, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not the right reader for you, or go research that. But people who pick this pile, you know what I'm talking about. And if you were led here, you already know what I'm talking about. But usually only certain people have been allowed to go through these portals or access these portals. And they were chosen for certain reasons. It's people who live in those worlds that allowed these humans, this certain person or these small groups of people to come through for certain reasons. You're going to be one of those people, pile 2. Yeah. Who has access to, look at this, Tree of Souls, the Healing Temple, the Secret of Camelot, the Mountain Lights. Like, it feels like a secret place. You're in on that secret, and you were chosen to be allowed to go in and out of this dimension or this world or this portal. No lies. Like, this is something that's happening now. This is something that has been happening for as long as humans have been alive. like, so, like, it shouldn't be surprising to you that this is happening now. And you might feel happy and lucky to know that you're one of the chosen ones. Eventually, like, there's a lot of ETs and there's a lot of extra dimensional entities that are already have the consent from us to kind of come in and help out now. We as a collective chose to go into 5D and go through this awakening, and there's enough of us that consented on a soul level, even consciously, as light workers are, have kind of upgraded our energies to be at least like high enough to go to activate the collective awakening. Like, they're gonna come through and start interacting with us anyway. There's so many people predicting it. Other high level channelers are predicting it too. I feel like it's going to be only certain people for a certain period of time. I feel like they're gonna work with a lot of people that they're gonna choose to work with, and like I predicted this, like, I don't know, like 4 years ago in my readings, that like they're going to choose the people who have gone through their awakening and choose certain people, like certain groups, like different ETs or higher energetic beings are going to choose certain or nature earth beings, spiritual nature spirits or something like that, connect with different people in different ways and teach them like how to prepare for this and get them kind of prepared for kind of going full force into 5D for the collective awakening, and slowly kind of bring it into the collective awareness by taking only a few people at first or certain small groups of people at first and kind of getting them acquainted with these ideas and the true human history and the truth of the power of the potential power of humans and all this stuff. And they'll slowly kind of start seeping into the collective, so it's not too jarring, because that's what kind of like in the I think in the 50s or 60s, like there was a ET disclosure where ETs came through and showed themselves to the world, and humanity went crazy, which is why there's so many like imprints of that memory in movies and shows and stuff about aliens throughout the years. We didn't really handle it well. This is like take 2. So yeah, you're gonna see that like I feel like it's gonna be certain chosen folks, light workers, who are chosen to work with these energetic beings at first, and then eventually they're just gonna make themselves seen and shown, and yeah, then you can know that like there is time for massive physical changes. But the point of it is that we created this kind of damage here on this earth by consenting, and so we kind of have to like fix it ourselves. But as long as we start the process, then they can come in and help afterwards. So pile 2, I know there's a lot of information, but I hope it was helpful. I hope it resonated. I'm so happy that I'm able to just do these really like as powerful readings as I can channel. Yeah, if you resonated, I really appreciate it. Like a comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I wish you much love and light. Hi, beautiful pile 3. We're looking at what's next for you. And this is a timeless reading, but it's for those who have completed something very major in their life, or completed a major cycle or multiple major cycles, and ready for this new chapter, which is like a new era, kind of like a new life, and might extend like few years, 5 years, 10 years, decades beyond this time now. Like whatever is happening now, whatever is next for you now is going to have long-lasting effects. So let's get started. We have like 4 energies we're going to look into for what's next for you. Okay. Mice. All right. Number 23. Okay, so for mice, we got loss, worry, stress. Okay, so something with changing the amount of stress you've had for a very long time, and the amount of loss you might have taken a lot. You might have taken a lot of L's of over the course of the major cycles that you've kind of wrapped up. So that's going to change in a very big way. Soulmate. Specifically in terms of love, I feel like you might have felt like you just could not win in love and in relationship with others, and in things that you felt were divinely made for you, like a specific career or specific kind of home or living situation, location, a specific kind of community or like-minded folks, specific kind of lifestyle or health regimen, a financial situation, career choices, but mainly in love. Might have felt like you kept taking L's. You kept getting knocked down, keep having to dust yourself off and try again, and it just kind of like just wouldn't let up. It just kind of felt like you couldn't win in that arena, and you haven't got a huge win, and it kind of made you worry that maybe you weren't meant for these things in your lifetime, that and it caused a lot of stress over the years and over all the cycles. And just kind of felt like you were always just kind of had this like very like low vibrational energy in the background of everything you were doing, just because none of the things that you felt like you were destined for, that what you felt like your soul was connected to, was appearing in your life, at least in the way that you wanted it to appear. It wasn't like manifesting in the way that you were hoping it would manifest. It was very hard. It was very difficult to kind of keep putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, taking risks, and getting shot down or not having the results you wanted, and having to accept that and kind of see things in a different way. You had to take a lot of defeat and failure. Fertility. But you're going to see now that it's like the opposite is happening. Not only are you getting the things that are meant for you in this lifetime, the things that are connected to your soul, things that resonate with you so deeply that it resonates with your higher aspects, your soul. So like it resonates with you over like many lifetimes worth of things. Not only are you getting those things, but you're leveling up in them very quickly. So for example, if you have been, we're going with the soulmates and the fertility example here, but for example, if you wanted, if you were looking for the right partner or the soulmate or twin flame, whatever you're calling it, not only are you getting partnered up with them, but you're taking the next step and having, for example, a child with them, or moving in with them, or starting a soul mission with them. So it's like, it's not only are you getting that soulmate or that soul destined thing for you, the soul resonating opportunity for you, but you're moving into the next step of that immediately. So it's like you don't even have time to celebrate the fact that they're like in your life, or the situation, opportunities in your life, or this thing that you've always wanted. You're already on like living that life. It's like you're catching up with all the things that you wanted to be at. It feels like you're leading the way. I'm almost getting like maybe you had to maybe you felt like everyone else was succeeding in this area of life, or maybe you felt like you were never going to get these things, or that you were held back, or that you were not meant to get these things, and maybe you had to accept that fact. But then you're going to find that you not just achieve and get those things, but you far exceed your expectations in this victory. Like, I feel like you're gonna far exceed everyone who you felt was succeeding in these things But true success is following your true authentic self. You know, a lot of people have had success in their careers, in building a family, a home, and their marriage. A lot of people have failed in a lot of these things, or felt like they had success, or only had success for a little while, or in the immediate sense, but weren't planning for the long term, or weren't planning for things that were truly authentic to themselves. That's where the true success lies. So you've been setting yourself up for really, really like the deepest level of success you can have in love and career and money and lifestyle, home, health, whatever it is. And you're going to see the results of it, and you're going to see it like take off really quickly. You're not even going to care. You're going to leave everyone in the dust. You're not even care about how other people have successes in these areas of life. You're going to be caring about yours, and it's going to happen very quickly. You're going to surpass the success you've seen anyone else have in this area of your life. All right, let's see if we can see how. Oh wow, the Sun card. Yeah, Spirit is confirming this and telling you, like, yes. First of all, fertility in the Sun card. The Sun card also denotes like some sort of pregnancy or some sort of child or something being birthed. So it could be a child, it could be a business, it could be a new life, it could be a new financial opportunity, it could be a new home location. But I feel like for most people, it's like something to do with creativity and intuition, like creating something. So I do feel like it's like creating, you know, an addition to your family very quickly. So I do feel like it's like soulmate, addition to family, or like soulmate, starting a business, or like soulmate, starting this new life or something. It's like very like immediate, like you get one thing in your life and then immediately goes into the next thing very quickly. I'm getting a yes card. I'm getting like, this is the birth, this is happening now. Like you go into soulmates, pregnant, baby, like on a horse, like on the beach, you know, whatever. It's like it happens so like quickly that you like I'm getting you accelerate into what you've always wanted so quickly that you are trying to enjoy it as much as you can in the moment, but everything's happening so fast. You're like, oh, like this is always what I wanted, but like everything's happening so quickly. I wanted more time to enjoy everything. But I feel like you're not sad by it. You're not disappointed. You're like, this is what I wanted. I'm glad I'm getting successes in these areas. Let's see if Spirit has more information on what's happening, why it's happening in that way, why everything's kind of accelerating for you in love and family, partnership, relationships, especially, but also in your home and your life in general. Rebirth. Are you kidding me? Reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. Yeah, I feel like Spirit's like, you know, we've been so happy for you. We've been cheerleading you on. We've been excited for you, supporting you, helping you along the way. And you're finally here where you're getting all these things come through. We just want you to enjoy it. We want you to kind of reinvent yourself, like be in the life that you've always wanted to be. So that's why Spirit is saying like things are happening very quickly. I'm getting it's not gonna happen like tomorrow, like it's not gonna be like tomorrow, next week, and next month. Like it may obviously take like a few seasons to a few years to kind of have all these things happen. But you are going to be able to enjoy it. Don't worry. You're going to be able to enjoy it enough. But I feel like it's very overwhelming in how everything's kind of coming together. And you get to kind of enjoy all the things that you wanted to enjoy. I'm getting catching up. But it's not going to feel like you're catching up because you have a very unique life compared to all those lives you were comparing to yourself to beforehand. It's very different. So you're no longer comparing yourself to other people. You have a new ways to gauge your success because you've never seen anyone succeed in their life in these areas in the ways that you are now currently doing. So you're kind of setting the example. You're kind of leading a precedence in how you can be successful in these areas. And we're talking about love here, and partnership, and family, and creating something with your partner, creating something out of love. So I feel like you're also going to be creating your life out of love. Like, you're really able to nitpick and get into the nitty gritty details of like what you want, what you don't want. You just really design your life, like really specifically, like very super and detailed design your life the way you want to, and it's coming through really quickly. Again, you're gonna have some time, a few seasons to a few years to enjoy everything, but I feel like depending on the person, because there's different folks picking this pile, but depending on how fast or slow you want to enjoy something is going to definitely play a part in this major manifestation. Let's see. How can you practically... What's the practical advice Spirit has for you in this case? Opportunity. So Ace of Gems. I do feel like there's one specific opportunity in terms of love, and I do feel like it has to do with your soulmate. So I do feel like it's like your soulmate and then having a kid, or soulmate and then starting a business, or like soulmate and like moving to a new location, or soulmate and like starting a new life. But I do feel like it's like a soulmate and then starting some new creation with that soulmate. Yeah, it's one of the challenges that I had with source energy, and I talk about this a little bit in one of the other piles, but I talk about how one of the things that the ultimate creator wants us to do, one of the creator's creation, is to have our own creation that takes on a life of its own. And once we kind of learn and understand how to do that, so for example, have a really big goal in this lifetime, a really big dream, and make it happen. And like a really, really big one that resonates with you, that you're really passionate about, that you like, that you don't give up on. That's one of our goals in this lifetime, to just like do something that we really want to do. Create something, whether it's a dream or a life, or an invention, or an idea come to life, like whatever it is, like create something that takes on a life of its own. And once you're able to do that in one way, you're going to work with someone else who is on that same creation level as you, on that same creative level as you, which is intuitive and spiritual level as you. Come together to combine forces to create a creation together. That makes sense? So it could be kids, but if you had kids before, it could be a business or something. It could be whatever it is, but it's like it's a collaborative creation that you now are going to be taking on. And because if you're watching this reading and you're guided to my readings that are super highly spiritual, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to have this platform to be able to channel the highest and best powerful readings as I can. Then you already know. Then you already have achieved some sort of huge achievement, and some sort of creation that you've made in this lifetime. It could be creating this mastery of yourself, or creating a business, or creating a really good tool for other people to use, or creating a really cool belief or ideology or whatever that's really helpful to humanity, or something like that. Creating a really cool perspective that adds value for not just humanity but for the creator. So now that you've achieved that, you're meant to find someone who matches that energy. You know, you might have met up with people who match that energy a little bit here and there to kind of help you with your creation, to help you with your self-mastery and what you've created in your life thus far. But now that you've reached this level, it's kind of like you've graduated. You're going to meet someone who's also at that level. So it's like a different kind of way you're going to be creating this time. It's going to be a collaborative effort. But Spirit is saying that, yeah, you're going to definitely have, it's this one opportunity is that soulmate. And that soulmate is going to be the evolution of this next cycle, creating something together. Okay, let's wrap up this energy before we go into the next. Returning home. I love that. Okay, returning home. We have transition, life between lifetimes, welcome. So I do feel like this person, the soulmate that comes into your life, I feel like if you pick this pile, you're not in physical union with them yet, or you just recently came into physical union with them. That's going to be very few people, but I feel like most of you, you're meeting them around now or very soon. Returning home, because this person is someone who, with the 44 here, I always see 44 as two master number 22s for some reason. So two people who are coming together to be master builders, to create something like major in this lifetime, right? And with the rebirth and like the soul connection, soul contract, and life between lifetimes, and like this is someone that you have been paired with in other lifetimes. So this is like your soulmate, your twin flame, you know, the partner you choose to kind of reincarnate with many times. A lot of us, like, we reincarnate in groups because we had to pay off our karmic debts, and we kind of figure out like, okay, like, I'm going to reincarnate with this person again so I can finish off that debt. Sometimes you take on more than one karmic debts or people. Sometimes you kind of just, if there's like a one major one, you want to focus on that. But you kind of want to clear your karmic debts, but also you have preferences. Like after being in lifetimes with certain souls and energies for over and over again, you tend to like have love for certain souls more than others. Because that love kind of builds, because like it's built over many lifetimes. So when you see a soulmate, it's because and you feel an instant attraction to them and connection, it's because you chose to go through this life together and to probably find each other and help each other in certain ways. And for those of you, we often choose the same people to love and work with on like those highly divine levels and highly spiritual lessons. And so this is like your twin flame coming in, being like, yeah, we've chosen each other in many like thousands of lifetimes. Like, you're the only one I can work with on this level of like very, very highly spiritual thing. And my readings are for highly spiritual people, so you know what I'm talking about. You're returning home. You're returning to that person that you've been through many lifetimes with, and your love is so strong and powerful, you know, that you can take on more high level experiences and creation and make high level creations in this lifetime. That's what you're coming into union with at this time, pile 3. Wow. All right, so let's see what else is next for you, and apparently your soulmate too. But yeah, pile 3, what else is next for you? The moon. Shoot for the moon, I'm getting. We have 23, now we have 32, mirrored numbers. All right, so the moon has to do with creativity, shadow self, and reflection. So obviously the two of you are going to mirror each other so hard, right? You're going to be able, but you're also going to be able to understand each other on such a deep, complex level. For a lot of you who are coming into this 5D, you're going to realize that you did a lot of inner work to get to where you are now, which is train, whistle, confirmation, which is understanding yourself. You're going to come into this energy feeling like you have a solid idea of who you are and what you want in life, and feeling like you have a good grasp on this physical reality now, and also the spiritual energies and realms. So when you're coming into this 5D energy, which is why you're connecting with your 5D connection, your twin flame, you're going to also find that you are going to discover things about yourself that you never would have thought of or thought about exploring or had a chance to master in this lifetime. And you're going to find out that you have so much more to find out about yourself. And you're going to have the time and energy to master a lot of these things and go into more complexities of your more complex understanding of yourself, using your very high frequency mirror, your twin flame, to mirror these really high level concepts with. You're going to have each other to kind of do that with, because if you look out in the world, like, how many people do you know are ready to go into 5D? So it's a gradual change. It's consciousness first. It's in the individual, in your minds, in the way that you live, and the energy that you hold. And then you have to be able to hold that energy consistently. So a lot of people are just starting their awakening, are about to start their awakening. The collective awakening is happening in this next couple of decades of Age of Aquarius. While Pluto is in Aquarius, you're going to see this massive awakening happening. Is it going to happen all today and tomorrow? I post this reading. I'm recording this reading the day after Pluto entered Aquarius. Is it going to happen all today? No. It's going to happen over the next couple of decades, that people are going to slowly start awakening. But this collective had decided to go through this awakening together, whereas the people who awakened before this collective awakening did it solo. It was a solo journey. You might have had a lot of help and aid here and there, but it was a solo journey. It was a solo spiritual awakening journey. And so now it's those folks who are leading this awakening, who helped raise the consciousness enough to initiate this collective awakening, who had the privilege to play that role in this lifetime, are also going to be the ones that provide a lot of resources and comfort and support to the collective that's awakening, but not until after settling into these new 5D energies. So again, a lot of light workers are entering this 5D energy now, those who woke up before 2020. But not all light workers are going to be able to go into 5D right away. And by going into 5D, I mean being able to hold that 5D consciousness stably, in a stable way, like consistently. So not everyone is going to be able to do it again today, the day after Pluto goes into Aquarius, which I use as a symbol for Age of Aquarius, and light workers going into 5D. That's my personal thing. Not everyone reads it that way, but I do see that a lot of light workers are going to start getting into the 5D energies in the next few years, especially. And like whenever you start holding 5D energies consistently, meaning you went into 5D, it's going to take about a couple of years, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, to just get settled into the 5D energies. And so that's what I'm getting. A lot of twin flames that come together after they enter 5D are going to take some time to just kind of learn themselves and learn how deep they can be, and do that with their partner, because you're not going to be able to do it with your family members or people, your neighbors, or people that you go to work with, or you might be able to do it with a soul friend. And a lot of people are going to meet like some certain soul friends over this period of time, but it's going to be done with your divine counterpart, who's going to know you better, who's going to mirror you better than your actual divine counterpart that has the same training as you. So that's where the shadow self comes in, because it's kind of like, in order to create, like you spend a lot of time creating this powerful energy, recognizing this powerful energy within yourself, and so did your partner. But you two come together. You're not going to create something that is the same as your energies. You're going to create something that is better than your energy, higher, that moves things forward, that pushes your boundaries, that brings in more light than what you two are already bringing in. That's what you bring. That's why you're collaborating, because you're not going to be able to do it individually. Manifestations work better when you're working with another source, and that's someone else who can visualize. So you're bringing in something more divine, with more light and more powerful. And that takes going into a deeper shadow aspect of not yourselves, because you had to go into the darkest parts of your soul to become who you are now, to be able to even go into the 5D, but in the collective, some of the darkest parts of the collective. So you two are going to be working with a lot of people's soul mission is going to be working with really, really dark energies, people who are recovering from really, really traumatic experiences, also going head to head with really, really dark energies, or working with groups or organizations that work with really, really dark energies, or with like a lot of dark systems, or a lot of dark manifestations or visualizations, or negative energies that were implemented into this matrix. So a lot of people are going to be working together, not just with their twin flame, but like other soul family members and other, like the light worker in the light worker networking grid. Sorry, my channelings are coming through faster than I could talk. To help kind of clear this heaviness and this dark energies and kind of lift that up. It's gonna be the heavy lifting that a lot of light workers do, in order to create a more high frequency 5D earth. And so, you know, you were born, you were chosen for this role, you picked this lifetime to be one of those light workers at the head of the wave that's going to go attack some of the darkest dark. And depending on how dark you and your twin flame go in energies that you help, you know, release and transmute into light energies, that's how high you're going to go in your creation that you create together, if that makes sense. Okay, sorry, I went really in depth there, but I felt like it was necessary. Gambling, problems with addiction or gambling, bad finances. There's a lot out there. There's a lot. I went to New York recently, and I had a thing about New York. I'm gonna get personal here. I think it's necessary. There's not gonna be that many people who watch this reading, but the people who do are my people. You're my soul family. You are the high vibrational, like, spiritual warrior that I am so honored to connect with. So I'm gonna get personal here. But I went to New York. I even went to Philly recently, and I hate going into big cities. I'm an empath. I'm energy sensitive. I look down at cities. It's like, look at these beautiful cities, you know, Chicago, San Francisco, all these cities that had really high frequency buildings that were knocked down, and they were co-opted, and all these cities that had really good high energy, starports, and really beautiful buildings and architecture, and layouts were demolished, destroyed, co-opted, and they were put negative energies on. Like, you know, like the most beautiful buildings that were here before, you know, the reset, were used for insane asylums, for government buildings, for college and universities. Like, they were definitely trying to they were the ones living in these homes that were really high frequency. Like, even the paintings that were left over from before the reset have such high frequency energies that they were getting really high frequency energies. They have the money to afford these really high frequency buildings with high frequency building materials and high frequency energy from the experiences that were there. From even the paintings even have really high frequency energies. Underneath the floors, there's things set up that vibrates the floors in a way that just like walking around in these buildings at high frequencies. They made these buildings into churches, into their own personal homes, into banks. Like, are you kidding me? Sorry, I'm getting a little frustrated here. I'm so upset that they took all this beautiful land with beautiful creations and co-opted them to be negative and to use it for their own greed and for giving themselves energies and turning all these good energies negative, dark, And I remember thinking, like, before I even awakened, I'm like, yeah, you know, there's like, there's like emergency psychic healers, and I, like, hats off to them. They're the ones who, like, if people died in like horrific ways, and like, for example, children with their like faces gnawed off, and like they come up to these like psychic mediums, and then the psychic mediums help them heal and move over. Like, imagine seeing like distorted children, or people who are murdered and like in brutal ways, and like, or tragic, like horrific tragic events in a town or something, and being like the psychic medium who goes out and clears these energies. And I remember telling my friend at the time, like if that's the case, like there's probably so much negative energy imprints all around the world, like it would take forever to clear. And that's when I knew, I'm like, that's gonna be the light worker's job, is to come in and start releasing and transmuting a lot of these dark energy imprints that were left over from these horrific events and experiences. And it's going to take a while. So I had this thing about cities, because, like, cities are so corrupted now. Like, they're supposed to be for coming together and sharing ideas, and in a way sometimes they still are, but in a lot of ways they breed crime. They're undercutting the people there. People are less likely to say hello to their fellow neighbors. They don't care about their neighbors. It makes people more selfish and egotistical, looking out for themselves, more greedy, not caring if someone right next to you is hurt. Like, I hated it. It's a breeding ground for dark energies to play, and that's why a lot of cities have that dark energy. And I went and I did a huge transmutation kind of practice on New York and what it could be. And I started with just trying to clear as much petty theft, breaking into cars kind of energy, littering, people driving crazy, people having a little bit more respect for others, and kind of, working with that, like curating more harmonious energies, like what people coming together in a hub should be like future cities should be like, for people coming together to collaborate on ideas or creativity, to have creative centers, to have highly spiritual centers where people can listen to lectures or pray or meditate together, to collaborate on new ideas, to work on projects together, a meeting spot, maybe like hubs where people can grow more food or try different, these ideas are not bad on their own, but they've been corrupted, like having universities and such stuff like that. Like when people are doing it for money and for bad reasons and can be corrupted, like it gets thrown out. Building cheap buildings that don't look good, they don't add value, they don't facilitate harmony and community. Like, there's just so many things you can do to rebuild cities to be what they should be. But I started with the little problems, people who have addictions, and maybe people who had a tough childhood and stuff like that. And then it kind of expanded into more heavier, deeper things, what's happening underneath the cities, what's happening with the 1%, what are the most biggest, baddest, evilest things that cities are hiding and stuff like that people are hiding in cities and stuff like that. So there's a lot. Whew, let me just breathe for a second. There's a lot to be done. All right, so we can go into medicine, we can go into health, we can go into education, we can go with governance, we can go into community design and building, we can go into anything, products that are being sold. Do they really help? Are they really necessary? Are they built with the best things? Wellness, well-being. Yeah, there we go. there's so many things, and just like the chemicals they use to grow our food, the toxic things that are leaked into our atmosphere, our food, our water, our air, that affects our energy, that affects our body. Just the basics, you know? Like there's so many things that we can clean up energetically and physically that will help our bodies energetically and physically. There's just so much to do. I think we get the breadth of how much there is for light workers to do in our soul missions coming up, right? Unlimited amount of things that we can do at this time to help. Princess of Cups. I love that. I didn't know this deck had Princesses of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so I do feel like there's this kind of regal energy about you. Obviously, you were chosen. Obviously, you have this very important role and destiny in this lifetime. Words can't express like how you're going to come off to other people who are just awakening or will be awakening soon. Like, it's definitely going to feel like you're in a league above, you know? And that's not the case. Everyone has the ability to reach this level of soul growth as you, but let's not call someone who has so many lessons to learn still, and someone who have paid off all their karmic debt and like have done the hard work and the inner work. Let's not compare the two, you know? Every soul is equal in its worth, in its value and importance to source energy, but not all people are created equal. You know, there's people who put in the work and the people who didn't, you know? And so, and there's no like looking down and being like, you didn't do the work. It's like being like, hey, you might have been in that place maybe lifetimes ago, and you are given the chance to kind of grow and expand, and everyone deserves a chance to grow and expand, right? So like, it's not like kind of looking down at those folks, but those people might be looking up at you, being like, hey, this person is so ethereal, they're so divine and beautiful. You know, your looks are going to even change as your vibration suits that of the 5D energy more consistently. While you walk into the 5D, your 5D body also changes. Your body will also change to emanate higher frequency energy just in your aura. It's just gonna come off of you. But that's also going to make you look really good, and it's going to make you come off really good to a lot of people. You're also going to be in the best health of your life. You're going to also look the youngest and feel the youngest and feel more energetic than you ever have in your life. Your well-being is going to be the example of what people can achieve if they kind of do what they came here to do. So you're going to be looking really good, and it's gonna be kind of like, you know, when you come across that superstar and they're like, you know, they get hit on all the time, and you know, they're just so charming and they say the perfect things, they're so funny, they're so personable, they look so good. Like it's gonna feel, you're gonna have that energy about you, just naturally. But I predicted that for a long time. Like as people kind of step into the more 5D energies, you're gonna look like very stoic and angelic and like statuesque and yeah, like perfect kind of to a lot of people, right? And you're still gonna be human, but at the same time, you're very nearly, you know. You're gonna recognize that change in yourself as well, in your physical aura and body as well. Okay, so how is this gonna look? Resources. Yeah, wow. So you're also going to be getting a lot of resources in order to be as creative as you want to be. And so, you know, not to forget, like once you step into this energy, it's not going to be like go, go, go right away. You're going to have a little bit of time to kind of adjust and step into this role, taking the time you need and figuring out what you need to figure out. but you're going to be getting a lot of resources. So I do feel like Spirit's not taking a gamble on you. You took a chance to go down this life path, knowing that, like, hey, you might live a more very simple life and, you know, have enough money to make ends meet and do what you need to do, but maybe you're not going to be the richest person in the world. You're going to feel abundant, but that might not include money. No, I do feel like you're going to get the resources you need. There's a lot of worry and stress I feel like you had about not having the right love in your life. And not only are you going to have the right love in your life, but like abundance, financial resources, but also the people, the right people to connect with, to do different projects with, to collaborate on different ideas with. Because I do feel like you're going to find that certain people are going to be good for certain ideas, and you're going to form, like, I'm getting a lot of groups with different folks. And then I also get that just even before you start to set off on all these projects, like, you're going to have a lot of, like, even with just your soulmate and your twin flame, you're going to be able to kind of start taking initiative on a lot of these hobbies, projects, interests, skills that you've always wanted to kind of queue up on. So you're going to discover a lot of things about yourself that you didn't even know you were good at, didn't even know that existed, that you are interested in, passionate about. And you're going to have a lot of, like, past life skills turn on, a lot of natural abilities turn on, or turn up the power on them. And so you're going to also get you're going to also be able to brush up on some of these past life skills, but also new skills and new abilities, and unique ones too, that you're going to be able to kind of practice in, get some experience and some training in before going out and doing what you want to do, doing what you got to do. So, and a lot of that clearing up the dark stuff is going to be like a practice of these new intuitive skills, psychic skills, or, you know, just whatever, like talents, abilities, even physical ones, even some that include your physical strength. 9 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, the stress and worry is gone, because we got the stress and worry and it came out in reverse. Yeah, if all the stress and worry is gone, all the energy that you've wasted on stress and worry, and granted, you know, to be fair, it sucked, right? But now all that energy that you wasted on worrying and stress is now being put to better use, which is honing in on these new skills and old skills and past life skills. And it's really fun. And you get everything you need to practice this. If you have, for example, archery, you get the best bows, you get the best trainer, you get the best place to practice, and you get to be the best at it or something like that. But, like, I do feel like there's a lot of different varying skills. You might not even know how they all kind of correlate or kind of match up, but eventually, as time goes on, you're going to be like, oh, this is why I have all these skills coming in, why I needed to practice all these skills. Okay, so let's wrap up this energy before we go into the next one. I just saw 4422 again. So you can tell that, like, you're not doing this alone. You're also doing this with your twin flame. So I do get that, like, you can be brushing up on a lot of things. Like, I see you two kind of working together to brush up on your, like, some sort of physical sport, and also some sort of, like, martial art maybe, and also some sort of creative project, whether that's, like, music or art or sculpting or whatever it is for you, something that's unique for you. And then also something like maybe musical, because being able to understand music gives you another, like, understanding of life, because everything is vibration and music is all vibration. So, like, music is definitely a huge, like, can be a huge perspective in understanding this physical reality. Music, and also a different language, possibly, you know, working on your strengths, but also working on your weaknesses. So there's a lot of, like, different things you're going to be able to explore and master and discover and grow in. And to close off this energy, Aurora Garden, beginning, initiate, origin. Yeah, so you can tell that this is just the beginning. Like, this is kind of a feeling of like, what if you got all the resources and opportunities and what you needed when you were born? Like, what kind of person would you have become now? You have that opportunity now. This is a rebirth where you have a solid foundation to become the person you've always wanted to be. Even though you've become the person you've always wanted to be now, this is like opening up doors to things that you couldn't have possibly imagined. And you have a soulmate to do it with. It's going to be kind of crazy amazing how much you two experience together. It's going to be like you went through childhood together. A lot of people complain that like, oh, I'm getting older and I feel like I can't, like, even if I meet my soulmate now, I'm not gonna have enough time with them in this lifetime to do all the things I wanted to do. No, that's lies completely. Like, you have the time to do all that you wanted to do and then some. You're literally rebirth, but this lifetime isn't just how much ever time you have left from now until whatever the average age of death is, or whenever you're predicted to pass. It's literally like starting from scratch, as if both of you met in childhood, as if both of you met as teenagers, as young adults, as like soulmates and each other's like boyfriend, girlfriend for the first time. You're gonna go through all that probably a little lot quickly. Oh, that's why Spirit says like going through things really quickly. You went through all that experience very quickly. Again, I said at least a few seasons minimum. I'm getting at least a few years, if not more, 6, 7, 9, a decade, a whole decade. I'm getting for like 3 years to 10 years for most people, where they kind of go through this energy when you come together with your 9, 10, 11 person. Yeah. 9, 10, 11. You know, because 9 is like the actual last number of the 10 based number system, because 10 is just starting again at 1. And then after 10 is 11, which is a 2. So I feel like you two kind of really quickly wrap up whatever you need to wrap up. Any last minute, and I said this for everyone. For so long, I'm saying when twin flames or soulmates come together in union, physical union, you will spend a short period of time, whether it's a few weeks or a few months, kind of just wrapping up things that happen in your past, in your old life. And before you go into doing new inner work collaboratively together, harmoniously, for your new life and new stuff. That's what I'm kind of getting here, because the nine of Swords came out in reverse. You quickly go into the Aurora Garden, initiate, beginning, new origin story for these superheroes, and then immediately getting the resources to kind of move into whatever skills you need, and then quickly moving into implementing those skills for your soul mission and helping others. Okay, so that's the kind of general timeline for twin flames, light workers in general. All right, so let's see the third energy. I'm going to go kind of more quickly in the next two energies, just because we've already kind of spent a good amount of time on the first two energies. Bear. Awesome. Okay, Bear's number 15. Strength, career, finances, and protection. So yeah, you can see that you're getting the resources, you're well taken care of. You're going to have such ferocity of strength in your career, your finances, and you're super, 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 super protective. So as you're in this 5D energies, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you, which is why you're able to kind of take on more difficult and dark energies and kind of transmute them, because you're super protected. But you also have protection with each other. You're both like very highly protective. Your energies are highly protected of each other. Your higher selves are super protective of the other person, of your soulmate. So like being in this physical union, there's nothing that can touch you two. There's nothing. And so you can take on anything. But I do get that you at least take a little bit of time to get used to this energy, because it's familiar but unfamiliar in this lifetime. You just get kind of used to it. You kind of figure out what you can do. You could probably read each other's minds. You could see how you could help each other in difficult situations. Being able to be telepathic, being able to create your own language, kind of create your own like toolkit, like a toolkit together for like if someone's sad or not feeling good or has an issue, how can you kind of deal with it? It's like what you've done in your own spiritual journey, you're gonna do with your partner all over again, but like a combination version, you know? So that's what I'm getting. Let's see. Cut down. Cutting out, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment. There's like another card wanted to come up, so I just want to. And karmic relationship. I'm getting cut out, karmic relationship. Okay, so let's see what the spirit might mean by that. Oh, I get it. Justice. I'm getting like everything that kind of made that kind of doesn't work for you anymore. So your 3D life is cutting out your 3D life. I get leadership, fearlessness, power. So like as this bear now, you're super protected. You can cut out more 3D things that you didn't even know. So even though you're connecting to your more psychic powers, your ultimate gifts as a human being, what you're, as a supreme divine being, what your powers are, what you're capable as a human beings, as a divine immortal soul. In addition to figuring out all these cool spiritual stuff that you can do, all these like kind of like superpowers that you have, you're also going to be surprised to see how much of the 3D you can cut out. So like, you can believe me or not, but like if you do your own history, I think Mind Unveiled has this on there too, but like kind of when humans first were formed here on this physical dimension, we didn't have to eat. We can survive off the energy of the sun. There were no cycles, so the sun didn't really go down either. We didn't have to sleep, and eventually we kind of like kept downgrading our energy to the point where we had to eat, and we had to eliminate waste and all these like more lower form energy of lower ways of getting energies were introduced in order to sustain sustain humanity in its physical form. So you'd be surprised how much you can cut out, and what you can replace as your energy source. I think in the last pile I even talked about like how when you're creating here, like, so one of the steps of being a creation of the creator is being able to create a creation yourself that kind of takes on its own life, whether it's an idea or a person or something of that sort, a belief or an invention, a legacy, whatever. But then to come together and collaborate with someone else to create a creation, but also get to a point where you kind of create the environment for these creation. You can create the different physics of this world, and it's a cycle of kind of creating something and then connecting with the creator, another creator, and then creating something, and then like, you know, adjusting it, and then whatever. It's a whole thing, but basically, I do in this pile we've been talking about going into your 5D body more. I'm getting more information about it, at least in this pile, and I am getting that you're going to upgrade your energetic body to the point where you're not going to be like needing some of the physical things that we've needed in our physical environment. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Get a clarifier. Five of Cups. Specifically people. It's interesting. If you had a bout of time in your life, a period of time in your life where you had no one in your life, or not many friends, or not many people, that's a characteristic of a strong person. Like some people's like, oh, it's because they're difficult to get along with, or they're very egotistical, and that could be true for some people, but for others, it's just because you're that powerful. Everyone needs people, but the fewer people you need, like that's the stronger you are, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's like the less people you need outside of yourself. So I think you're going to be very surprised to see how your soulmate, your twin flame, first of all, fills a lot of roles for you, and you might feel like they're the only person you need in your life. You will have soul family, soul friends, and like-minded people you network with in the lightworker community, but it will definitely feel like the two of you can like go off, live on your own in the middle of nowhere, and be totally happy. Which a lot of you will do. A lot of you will take some time to just kind of live with your partner for a while, and when it's time, you'll come back, and with the experiences that you've had with just your partner, the training that you've had, you're going to be able to help the rest of humanity in whatever your soul purpose, and in the ways that you've grown your soul. Oh my, I did not put that into context. I always assumed that light workers, I kept saying like light workers are going to disappear, and I always said like twin flames, when they come into physical union, when you're finally in the 5D, you're going to be kind of harmoning together. And I just assumed like it'd be like around, it's still going to be around other people, you're just going to spend more time at home. But I am now grasping the idea more clearly. The source is showing me that it is going to be very secluded. More secluded than you think. It's going to be different level of seclusion depending on your own personal connection. For those of you who are like really powerful, it's going to be like secluded. For those of you who are, your soul mission is going to be not like, every soul mission is important, but it might not be as big as some of the other light workers. Everyone decided how much difficulty they want their spiritual awakening to be and a life to be. But based on that, like, it's going to be what your soul mission is. And there's not, it's going to be big for you no matter what. It's going to be a big deal for the world no matter what. But depending on your soul mission and what your experiences were in this lifetime, what you signed up for, you might just be that level of secluded where you're just kind of that house on the top of the hill in the neighborhood, or where you just stay at home more in the city, or you might move to a more suburban area or more rural area. So depending on your level of soul mission is going to be the level of seclusion you and your twin flame have for that period of time. I keep getting a few years, but it's going to be different for different people. Okay, so what is this energy like for you? What is this going to be like for you? You've won the lottery. Wow. Definitely. You've won the lottery. Make room for wonderment. Yeah. I, I'm getting you're never going to be as happy as you are in those that secluded time. Um, it's going to like be like an extended honeymoon, with your soulmate. It's You're going to be extremely happy. You're going to not care about what's happening in the world, nor are you going to care about, anything besides what you're learning, what you're focusing on, the inner work, connecting with your divine counterpart each day and living it to the fullest in this new 5D energy. It's going to be very exciting for you. You're not going to care about anything else. It's going to feel like a vacation for you, a light worker vacation. It's going to feel like heaven on earth and how you always envisioned life could be, but didn't think it was actually going to happen. And like, it's a miracle every day. No wonder you're going to want to like milk that energy and want to be in it as much as possible. And how it's going to feel like everything's happening so fast because you're going to get all the things that you want to do, but also enjoying each day, like fully, like every moment of each day. Okay. How's this going to look for you? Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. It feels like all the things that you've been wanting to work on, all the adventures you've always wanted to have, all the projects you want to do, all the ideas that you wanted to take action on, all the careers that you wanted to try, or all the hobbies you wanted to pursue, all the interests you wanted to explore. Like, it's all there. It's all there in your life. Yeah, it gives you so much freedom to be with your twin flame. There's a lot you explore within each other and inside each other's inner universe, but it kind of also matches all the stuff you do in your daily routine, in your day-to-day life. So that's going to be very exciting. Wow. Very beautiful. I feel like I recorded like a twin flame reading. That was like one of the last things. Like, I made like a recording of everything I learned in my like 4 years of being a twin flame reader. And I kind of like put my beliefs in there, like how I see twin flames now it's highly evolved from where I started. My twin flame theory, like conception of what twin flames are. But I do see, like I imagine like the two of you kind of waking up together and having really intimate moments, maybe even sharing what you two dreamed of. It could be related to your relationship, or what projects you want to work on, or something that from your past that you remembered that is relevant to whatever's happening that day. And really enjoying making beautiful meals together, really high frequency. A lot of people are going to have their own a lot of land and growing their own foods, or collaborating with other people in co-ops and shared gardens, or sharing food with neighbors who also grow their own food. Just being very, very homestead, very self-sustaining lifestyle. And that part is really important because it's like getting back to basics. But as you're with your partner, you're going to explore really, really high level concepts. And what helps with really high level concepts and exploring different perceptions and high level perceptions is the basic things. The simple things are going to be like amazing. You're going to see them in a different light. You're going to see things, you're going to have more amazement with more simple things, because you're going to realize these high perceptions and ideas, they all break down to some of the same basic raw material, and that's going to be the more simpler things in life. So as higher you go in your conception and your ideas and theories and concepts, the more happy you're going to be with a more simpler life. Not that you're not always going to live a more basic, self-sustaining homestead, like simple life, or whatever that kind of version of simple life is for you. You're going to have like the highest and best ideas, technology, materials, and things in your life and experiences, but it has to be balanced out with having such a good, secure feeling about the basics and the raw materials and in life, So it's going to be that kind of energy. So don't be surprised if like living this more simple life kind of helps you explore more amazing things that you've ever experienced, and seeing the more simpler things in a different light. That's what going into 5D is going to be all about. Going with your partner, it's going to be nice to make simple meals every day, to be able to sleep under the stars, to enjoy a hammock, to just go walk on the beach, to be able to just, go visit a friend for dinner, like keeping your life very, very simple and basic so you can work on these like very, very high level stuff. That makes sense. Together and separately, pursuing your own interests, reading a book. Once in a while, you'll have someone who comes through and can peek into your 5D bubble and ask for help, and you two will help them here and there, a family member or, a soul friend or something like that. But most days it's going to be like the two of you in a bubble, working on your telepathy with each other, working on these physical things, working with your new body, your new energetic body, trying out these new healthy ways of eating and living. And it's all things that you're going to be kind of introducing into the world. It starts with you and it kind of expands out. And let's round out this energy before we go into the last one. Full moon temple. I love that. Okay. Celebration, peak, transcendent moments. Yeah. There's going to be so many beautiful moments with the two of you. It's going to feel so surreal. I mean, yeah, like making love on the grass in the backyard or something, underneath the stars, being able to see different auras and light because you're in more sacred land. Having more sacred, intimate moments and being able to connect with each other emotionally on a very, very deep ways, and being able to bring new ideas and collaborate on new work and creating a new home, even families and communities, but really starting with just the two of you, getting a real firm understanding of not just this lifetime, but of all the lifetimes, as you're going to be incorporating a lot of information from all the lifetimes. So like in this lifetime, you might have covered like maybe 5, 10, 20 lifetimes while you came into the 5D that were like the most vital for you for this awakening and for this current lifetime's experience. But once you come into union, you two are going to be connecting with all the lifetimes you had together. It's going to be an overwhelming amount of complex emotions and desires and knowledge and understanding that you two are going to be collaborating on and remembering and bringing to the surface and practicing these different skills and abilities with each other. So it's going to be more fantastic than you can imagine. It's going to be very highly enjoyable, like ecstasy level enjoyable. And you're going to remember this time, like you're going to be in the moment and you're going to remember this as like the best time of your life. The rest of your life is going to be just as enjoyable, but you're not going to get this like honeymoon period ever again. Or you will in bouts, but like in sequence, like, all together at once. It's going to be very highly enjoyable, pile 3. All right, let's complete this reading. Around now is about the time that I completed the other piles, but no worries. I don't care. I'm going to channel however much I can channel as deeply and as powerfully as I can. All right, so I got woman. And that's kind of funny. And I got child. Wow. I kept getting like, oh, pull another card. There's going to be another person. I thought, like, oh, maybe it's going to be the man, but it's child. So again, I'm getting that energy of birth, fertility, creation. That's going to be a huge energy for the two of you coming next. It's like creating something together. So family is going to be very important. Family is going to be very important. Even if you feel like that is out of the question for you now, is creating a family or creating a child, you are going to be creating something. And even if you're kind of in your later years, like I wouldn't put anything out of question. Like especially with the amount of technology and this kind of like reverse of aging happening for your energy. I wouldn't take anything out of the equation of what's in the realm of possibilities. Okay, so for the woman, it's like more of a feminine energy. It's described as a specific female or feminine energy. So I do feel like, because we're looking at twin flames here, it's like more of the feminine energy, especially because we got the bear here. Sorry, the moon here, and I was thinking about the bear. And the mice, the other meaning for mice is fertility, actually. And the moon is very intuitive, the feminine energy. And the bear is kind of getting like the mama bear, but also like the papa bear. Like, I'm feeling a very parental kind of energy. So I feel like the two of you are going to be very like protective of each other, as like a partner or a mother or father would over their loved ones. So I get a very like maternal, paternal energy, but also it's like the more feminine energy of fertility, because the two of you are coming together to work on your more spiritual side together. You are going to be working on a lot of highly emotional stuff. You're going to be working on your intimacy. You're going to be working on your spiritual side. And and creating something. So you two are going to come together, and you are going to go kind of recede and, have a recess in this life to just kind of focus on your connecting spiritually, connecting energetically with your person and physically, but that has to do with intimacy. But like, there is a moment where you two will kind of go withdraw, like feminine energies would, to kind of connect with each other's spiritual energy first. And then the child is about beginnings, trust, innocence, children. There's like a sense of trusting each other as your inner child. A lot of things are going to come up with your inner child that you might have not expected. A lot of deep things about what you were as a child. Being able to have that person that you needed as a child, whether it's a friend or a parental figure or advisor, teacher, mentor. I do feel like you're going to be able to recognize what the other person needs and give it to them, and also recognize what you need and be able to give it to yourself and allow the other person to give it to you as well. So there's going to be a lot of healing your inner child. And we saw with the moon, we saw like the shadow aspect too. So there's going to be a lot of inner work. This is going to be collaborative, and it's not just going to be of this lifetime, because you did a lot of work about that already. Maybe in the beginning, when you first meet, in the first few months or something, I mentioned, you might do that a little bit, just kind of touching on this lifetime. But what you're going to be touching on is like multiple lifetimes. And so if you don't believe in like past lives and stuff like that, if you don't believe in reincarnation, you can like kind of view it as like, once you pass on from this lifetime, like time doesn't exist. So you're kind of coming in, you're kind of only on this earthly plane is this time exists, but on the other side, time doesn't exist. So you are just kind of moving on to whatever is next. But also, if you don't believe in, if you're still kind of figuring out how you believe in reincarnation, you can also take it on as taking on the collective energy, taking on a lot of the inner child healing that needs to happen, wounds, fears, doubts of a lot of inner childs of this collective right now, because all of our souls are connected. I am you, you are me. So like, it's kind of like you might be taking on inner child and shadow work of the collective, which you already have a little bit of practice doing if you are a light worker on this level of going into the 5D, connecting to the 5D consciousness, like the high level consciousness. So you already have practice doing that. So you two are gonna be doing that. But I honestly specifically believe it's gonna be related to most of the lifetimes you've had together, because this is like you're finally coming into union. You kind of have to, like, in order to come into the best energetic and physical union, you're not going to have to just recognize this lifetime. You're going to have to recognize all your lifetimes. So it's kind of like remembering. It's kind of like a remembrance. That's why the two of you are kind of going away. So you can have this like remembrance, like of who you are, how you've been in this life, all these lifetimes. You might not do all of them, but the ones that are important to this union here in this lifetime, most of them, and what all these like skills and abilities coming online, and it's kind of like, yeah, just like recalling a lot of things, information, skill sets, what was important to heal, kind of remembering and reviewing all of that so it can be helpful in this lifetime, which would be really helpful as like a spiritual leader that you two are becoming. Okay, let's see what else Spirit has to say. Yes, the yes card. So it fell on like the you won the lottery, full moon. You're gonna enjoy this time together a lot. So it's kind of like implying that this is gonna be a really fun time for the two of you. It seems like, oh, I'm gonna have to do inner work, but it's not gonna feel difficult because it's gonna be fun because you're doing it with someone else and you understand why you're doing it. When you go on your spiritual journey by yourself, it's just like so. It's hard because you're looking at the lifetime, you're looking at healing the lifetime you're just in, and experiences that you've just experienced. But looking back at past lifetimes, it's not as difficult when you're in this lifetime because you're not in that body, you're not in that reality. So it's like kind of easier to review, and it's like almost a little bit fun, kind of like looking at it like from the outside in, looking at your past lives together from the outside in and being like, oh wow, we had a lifetime doing this, and that's where I learned to do this and you learned to do that. Like that's gonna be so helpful when we go into our soul mission. Or, oh, you have this skill, like that might be something important, like writing down, taking notes. It's like it's really a collaborative effort, and it's like kind of interesting more than it is like difficult, because it's not experiences from this lifetime, or most of the lifetimes you're going to look through, they're not going to relate too much to this lifetime because this is just one lifetime out of many. So it's going to be more fun, enjoyable, interesting than not. And of course you have all this like honeymoon period energy, so it's like everything is just like you can be making a meal that you hate. You can be playing a sport that you are so bad at, or a game that you're so bad at, and you don't care because you're with your soulmate and you're having this like honeymoon period that like even things that you hate, you love and enjoy doing with your person, so it kind of feels like that energy. Although it's not going to be like that most of the time, but that's what I'm getting. Spirits like, yeah, don't worry, like even the difficult things are fun and easy and breezy. All right, so how does this relate to you? How do you feel about this energy? Life purpose, yeah. So both of you are working towards your soul mission or your life purpose, whatever you can call it. And it comes together. It makes so much more sense. And a lot of light workers and twin flames have been kind of confused of like, what should I do next? And it's like, if you came into this life knowing that you're meant to come into union with your soulmate or the twin flame, like that's like the biggest thing in this life, and it's like the biggest motivator to kind of work through all this difficult mental, emotional healing and energies that you need to do. That this is a collaborative effort. You're not meant to create this next life by yourself, and you were probably confused and didn't know where it was going to go, or had a little bit of an idea but not too much, and you've been kind of drilling your spirit team and your higher self like, what am I supposed to do next? What is it going to look like? And not getting much and getting frustrated by that, and get like sign synchronicities like, good things are happening, don't worry, good things are happening, we're so proud of you. And you're like, but I don't know what. And it's because it's supposed to be you two coming together to create this life. It's supposed to be the two of you. And that's why you were never meant to kind of understand and get clarity on it by yourself. Okay. King of Pentacles. I love it. So we got the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. You master some of the things, because I feel like a lot of you are like, oh, this seems like so difficult. I have to learn a new martial arts. I need to learn a way to defend myself. I have to learn a new instrument. I have to learn music. I have to learn a new language. Like these all seem very difficult. Why do I have to do all of this? And Spirit's saying, like, don't worry, it's going to come easy to you. Because, like, for example, the language you might choose to learn might be a language that you've spoken in a past lifetime. An instrument or some sort of whatever way you decide to kind of dive into music, for example, learning an instrument, might be an instrument that you played in the past, so you pick it up easier. So all these things come in really like much more easier than you think, and you master them much more quickly than you think. So it's gonna be interesting and fun for you to be like, oh wow, I can learn all these things like very quickly. It's almost like Neo in the Matrix when he's like kind of downloading all this information. And it takes a second to download and to kind of practice it, but it comes in much more quicker than, having to kind of study in the 3D ways that we've studied and practiced and learned things or became disciplined in certain things, So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna come to you quicker than you think and expected. Okay, and as we're doing a spiritual reading, the last few cards are gonna be spiritual to wrap up this reading. Eternal union. I love it. That is so awesome. Eternal union. New love is forming. Yeah. So this is also an important lifetime for you and your twin flame, because for a lot of you, this is going to be your last physical reincarnation. Or in this kind of physical temperament. So it's a really special, and there's a lot of rejoicing in the reunion, a lot of reviewing of the past and how far you've come. And that's why I do feel like your life is going to definitely be extended, like further than you might have initially thought. It could just be that you live longer than you think, but for some of you, we might have some technologies or we're able to access our own spiritual technologies that allows us to live longer for certain reasons, to kind of let this kind of help out in this awakening. I did a reading, I forget, a long time ago about that, and how the light workers now, they might live a little bit longer, and our lifespans might expand a little bit longer, just so we can help kind of usher in this awakening and kind of be around to kind of mentor and help in areas that we need to. And then like when we like pass on, we can choose when we're going to pass on, and we just walk over, because being in this 5D energy is going to allow you to be even more powerful in like higher 60, 70, 80, 90 up to 12D energy. And so you're going to be like immortal and invincible. So it's going to be like you're going to choose to walk away. So it's going to be like if you come into this physical realm again, which I feel like you're going to like transition into this other kind of energy, physical energy. It's not going to be like in a human form kind of way. But it's like, while you're here and you did all this work, like thousands of lifetimes, might as well help usher in this golden age. And that's where gods are formed. And that's why we have like all these deities who live for a really long time, and religions are formed around, right? Wow, everything just kind of clicked there. Okay, and during the golden age, they live for a long time. They have amazing technologies. They have superpowers, They know exactly what to do to help that whole community, that whole country or region, right? Their children are often given appointed leadership roles as well, and they become the king and queens, and there's some sort of system that forms, and then it degrades and degrades and degrades and degrades. Those systems are coerced, and we go down to all the way to the Iron Age, It's pretty crazy. People's lifespans get shorter and shorter, and then we go back to awakening. And oh my gosh, I'm not even, wow. Are you kidding me? Yin and Yang, divine union. Are you for real? I felt it. Like I asked Source Energy, I asked my higher self, my spirit team, I'm like, are you ready for this reading today? And Like, I haven't even ate anything. I've been fasting all day, and I'm like, should I take a break before I do this next pile? They're like, no, keep going. And I'm like, I have a feeling. I'm like, we're connected. We're connected. This is meant to be. This is good. So, you know, this is a union of all unions. Like, you know, nothing more to share here. And last card, the leap. Ecstasy, bliss, belief. You better believe it. You better believe it. This is it. You took the leap of faith. You did the impossible. You fought hard. You worked through your shadow energy. You fought off dark forces. You fought people who fought your beliefs. You came to this light, into this higher power by yourself. You found that power within yourself, who you really are, and what, you know, what life is really about, and how you're connected to the source energy. And now it's ecstasy, bliss, and a super strong belief. It's not just a belief, it's a knowing. It's like a understanding. Everything kind of comes together. Everything you've always kind of wanted to know. You have access to all the information, all that truth, past lifetimes, to higher energetic beings, to your true power, to creation. So, pile 3, a powerful reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you resonated, or if you like this reading, I really appreciate a like or comment. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. I wish you much love and light.